Chapter 2461. Huang Shaoshan already knew about his father's situation. His father, Huang Tian, needed a cultivation cauldron, and Chu Hongqing and Yang Xiongyan were the best candidates. Now it's good, Chen Shang was hung there. This made Huang Shaoshan very excited. The elders of the Fire Reverent School are also here. One of them is from the Daopo realm. Chu Hongqing said again. Both she and Yang Xiongyan were extremely anxious. Huang Shaoshan threw a stone over, and after triggering the array around the big tree, the stone was immediately blown away. Looks like it wasn't easy for us to go over. This Chen Shang has some skills, to actually be able to pass through such a formation. Huang Shaoshan carefully observed his surroundings. He also noticed a naturally formed array beside the big tree. Chen Shang did not say anything. He wanted to see how Huang Shaoshan would capture him, and he really hoped that Huang Shaoshan and the others would be able to pass through the array. Break the roots, the elder from the Daopo realm said, and then he started to attack the ground, followed by 10 or so Fire Reverent School people doing the same. In just a short while, many of their roots had been snapped. Huang Shaoshan tried again and found that the stone could hit Chen Shang. Everyone, be careful when you go over there. Furthermore, do not kill him. We still have to force him to hand over the 2 heavenly artifacts and lure Chu Hongqing and Yang Xiongyan out. Huang Shaoshan laughed sinisterly. Everyone pay attention to the ground below you, the tree vines should have come out from the ground. Huang Shaoshan observed very carefully and discovered that there were traces of tree vines breaking out from the soil beneath Chen Zhang's hanging. Of course, he also discovered the little blue flower inside the small tree hole. Ming, your reaction is the most sensitive, you go take a look, if possible, cut the vines and bring Chen Shang here. He has 20 billion jade money on him, if you can make him hand it all over, I can give you 100 million. Huang Shaoshan said to a young man behind him. Ming hesitated, he also knew that this was a very dangerous situation, but he still walked over. To him, 100 million jade money was a huge amount. Ming very carefully went underneath Chen Shang. His entire body tensed up, it would be best if he could prepare to escape at any time. Huang Shaoshan and the rest looked at Ming. After a while, he was not tied up by the tree vines. Ming, break the tree vines and throw Chen Shang over. Huang Shaoshan was extremely careful. Although Ming was fine, he and the others did not go over. Ming nodded his head and took out a long sword. Then, he floated in the air and chopped at the thick vine. Even after several chops, he was still unable to cut it. Huang Shaoshan and the rest also made their moves, controlling their weapons to fly over and hack at the tree vines that was hanging on Chen Zhang's body. It's working, we can cut it in half after a while. Huang Shaoshan saw that the thick tree trunk was slowly being split open, and shouted in joy. After a while, the tree vines indeed broke, and Chen Shang who was wrapped up by the tree vines also fell to the ground. Ming immediately released a golden net and wrapped Chen Shang up. Just when Huang Shaoshan and the rest were extremely excited, they suddenly felt something wrapped around their feet. In a flash, they were inexplicably hung on the big tree, they were also wrapped by the tree vines. Although Chen Zhang's entire body was bound tightly by the tree vines connecting him to the big tree had already been cut off, so with a jolt of his body, the tree vines were immediately burst open, and with the power of the white tiger Dao mark, he executed a spatial jump, escaping from this strange big tree. Thank you for saving me. Chen Shang floated in mid-air and laughed loudly. Huang Shaoshan and the others were so angry that they spat out blood. They had worked hard to help Chen Shang cut off the tree vines, but when they thought that they were going to catch Chen Shang, they were all wrapped up by the tree vines. Chen Shang now knew that this tree had intelligence. The big tree took advantage of the moment when Huang Shaoshan and the others were slashing down on the tree vines to secretly release the tree vines underground. This big tree's wisdom and methods made Chen Shang secretly admire it, and he almost fell for it too. Chen Shang, quickly save us, we can disregard the past grudges and respect you as the distinguished guest of our Fire Reverent School. At this moment, they had discovered that the strangest thing about this large tree was its extremely fast speed in absorbing the Daoyuan immortal power. Ming suddenly cried out miserably. The tree vines that bound him suddenly tightened, crushing all the bones in Ming's body. Even the blood that leaked out was absorbed by the tree vines. Immediately after, the rest of the Fire Reverent School started screaming out miserably. Even the elder was constantly shouting, because the tree vines binding them were shrinking, they were extremely powerful, and their strengths were not weak, they were all from the Dao Dan realm, and the elder was even from the Daopo realm. However, like cotton, they were easily crushed into a small ball by the tree vines. Chen Zhang's scalp went numb, and he still had some lingering fear. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 people were strangled to the point where not even their bones were left, their flesh and blood completely sucked. Not a single drop of blood fell to the ground, and they were all sucked dry by the tree vines. Huang Shaoshan had not been strangled to death, and now he was the only one left. This caused Chen Shang to be even more shocked. The big tree was planning to use Huang Shaoshan as its bait. Just now, he was being used by the big tree as bait, which was why he had attracted Huang Shaoshan and the others over 10 people. This killing tree is too terrifying. Chen Shang could not help but shiver. He did not know what would happen if he was restrained. Chen Shang, quickly save me! Huang Shaoshan roared, and continued to shake his body. He was like a pitiful worm trapped in a spider web. Why should I save you? You guys wanted to capture me just now, snatch my heavenly artifact, and even wanted to capture my female slave, HMPH. He took out the 6 realms mirrors, sat on it and flew next to Huang Shaoshan. Huang Shaoshan was also one of the higher-ranked trees, but he could not do anything about it. He saw that when Chen Shang rode on the 6 realms mirrors, the vines wanted to attack Chen Shang, but they were all blocked by the 6 realms mirrors. As long as you save me, I'll promise you anything. I don't want to die. Huang Shaoshan cried. He knew Chen Shang had the ability to save him. I don't believe a guy like you. Chen Shang showed no mercy towards this kind of person who wanted to kill him. He took out his heavenly magic sword and swung it towards the head that Huang Shaoshan revealed. Huang Shaoshan didn't even have time to scream before his head fell to the ground. At this moment, the big tree was trembling, as if in fear, because the flames Chen Shang had released just now were extremely strong, able to threaten the tree. Chen Shang came to the side of the tree, touched the tree trunk and smiled, "Little one, don't be scared. I know you're very strong, but you're afraid of my fire, right?" The tree trunk trembled again. It actually understood human speech. Chapter 2462. Then I'll let you go. Next time you see me, you can't do this again. Chen Shang caressed the tree trunk, then closed his eyes and focused on communicating with the mysterious tree. I don't dare to. Lord, don't burn me with fire. His voice was actually very young, as if he was only a few years old. What flowers are in that tree hole? Chen Shang asked. What's the use of it? I want it. Quote. Blue phoenix flowers. If humans and savage beasts eat the petals, the injured areas on their bodies will immediately recover. This kind of flower contains the miraculous phoenix blood. The big tree said, then used the vines to pick the flower and gave it to Chen Shang. If you give me this flower, won't you have no bait in the future? Chen Shang laughed. Don't worry, my lord, it will grow back out of the small tree very soon. Right now, he was extremely afraid of the creator's flame that Chen Shang had just released. He was afraid that he would be burnt, and that was the only flame that could threaten him. Chen Shang was worrying about not understanding this place, and was secretly happy to be able to communicate with this small tree fairy. I know there's a phoenix here. What kind of existence is she here? Chen Shang asked. He felt that the small tree fairy must know something about this place. She is the new emperor of all birds, who has just come here. There have been phoenixes in the past as well, but for some reason, they have disappeared. The small tree fairy said. So that's how it is. Chen Shang frowned. The phoenix that had just arrived was now the Shui Ying of the Hundreds of Flowers Village S. What exactly is this place? Why did they suddenly appear here, and why are there so many heavenly artifacts here? Chen Shang asked again. The small tree fairy replied with her young and tender voice, Our name is Spirit Wasteland, and it is one of the ancient desolate lands. Spirit Wasteland has always been floating in different times, it's just that there's only an era left now, and we'll be back soon. Spirit Wasteland is also the youngest. Quote. Chen Shang was stunned. The era of the 8 Desolations was actually the new 8 Desolations, and there was actually an ancient 8 Desolations. He felt that he had completely changed his past. What this world had developed into was completely different from what he knew. He did not know if it was a good thing or a bad thing. Are there any humans in the Spirit Wasteland? I mean, there were humans, and they're not the ones who just came in. Chen Shang asked again. Of course there is. Although our Spirit Wasteland is the youngest in the ancient 8 Desolations, we have everything. Sir, you have to be careful walking around here. Then, a small hole appeared on his tree trunk as a tiny green bead floated out of the small hole. Lord, keep this thing. As long as you carry it with you, you won't be attacked by plants and flowers. After Chen Shang received the small green bead, the green bead quickly fused into his body. Looks like there are many man-eating trees like you hidden in here. Chen Shang laughed. What I'm eating are all bad people. I didn't plan to eat yours from the beginning. I only used you as bait. The small tree fairy was unconvinced. How do you know I'm not a bad person? How do you know those guys are bad people? Chen Shang chuckled. I'm actually going to pick that blue phoenix flower. Then my intuition anyway, you're not too bad, or you'd have burned me to death a long time ago. The small tree fairy said. Right, what else do we need to pay attention to here? Chen Shang decided to probe the wonders of the spirit wasteland. Are there any stronger people here? There is, especially the beasts, they are a very terrifying threat to you humans. And then there was the evil spirits, which were also very deadly. Of course, the beasts are not around, they are deeper in the spirit wasteland. If you want to enter there, you only need to pay attention to evil spirits and some poisonous things along the way. The small tree fairy said. Chen Shang nodded, then goodbye. We'll have a good chat when we have the chance. Sir, your flame can't be used carelessly in this place. We are most afraid of this flame. The small tree fairy said. Right now, I also plan to go deeper in and catch some beasts to eat. Why don't we work together? I can protect the adults. Quote. Chen Shang didn't react for a moment, and asked, how are you going to go into such a big tree? Do you want me to move you in? Quote. Hee, of course not, I will leave. As the small tree fairy spoke, it actually began to move. After walking a few steps, its speed was actually pretty fast. Hurry and enter my tree hole, you'll be safe inside. The small tree fairy said. You're not planning on eating me, are you? Chen Shang had seen the methods of small tree fairy s. How would I dare? I have already given you that green bead. With that thing, none of us can devour you. If you are worried, you can just sit on top of that thing and not come down. The small tree fairy said. Chen Shang sat on top of the 6 realms mirrors and flew into the tree hole. Small tree fairy, are you just going to walk in? You are very big and very conspicuous. Chen Shang said. Such a big tree moving about in the forest would definitely be very scary. Of course not, I will turn into a little ginseng and advance from the ground. The small tree fairy said. Don't think that only you can change, I can too. Isn't it too slow for you like this? I can enter much faster by myself. Chen Shang felt that if he rode a 6 realms mirrors, perhaps the use of space wind would be even faster. You'll find out when you get deeper in. The environment inside is very complicated. If you were a little stronger, perhaps it would be fine, but your current cultivation is too low. Although you have a lot of tricks up your sleeve, entering this place is very dangerous. The small tree fairy said. Wait, you've turned into a little ginseng, and I'm still inside your body. Chen Shang suddenly thought of this. You are in my divine sense sea world. The small tree fairy laughed. Relax, I often go into the depths of spirit wasteland to play, I can definitely bring you in safely. He never thought that he would fall in love with a human, and right now, he was shuttling across the ground with Chen Shang. Small tree fairy, can you do me a favor? I want to find a person. Chen Shang asked, can you help me ask your demon friends if they have seen this person before? When Chen Shang was at Demon Forest, he had a good relationship with the tree ant race. He felt that the small tree fairy could be considered their kind, but it was much stronger than the tree ant race. Okay, release that person's image. The small tree fairy said. Chen Shang released Xie Chaoyan's image. Seeing it, the small tree fairy laughed. Is this your woman? No, she's my friend. Don't ask any more, help me find her. She has been here for quite some time, I'm a bit worried about her. Chen Shang said. Chapter 2463. Before Chen Shang encountered the small tree fairy, he felt that this part of Spirit Wasteland was relatively safe. However, after seeing how the small tree fairy ate people, and finding out about the hidden powerful existences of this part of the Spirit Wasteland from the small tree fairy's mouth, he was extremely worried for Xie Chaoyan. The small tree fairy had already started to help Chen Shang search for traces of Xie Chaoyan. He was connected to the flowers and trees here. If they were looking for Xie Chaoyan, it wouldn't be difficult, as long as Xie Chaoyan was still here. This may take some time, just wait patiently. The small tree fairy said. I never thought that there would be more and more humans entering the Spirit Wasteland, I just wonder how many of us can survive. Chen Shang had previously heard that there were no dangers here, but the small tree fairy did not say so. Small tree fairy, there were 2 heavenly artifact here, and it seemed like humans could easily get their hands on them. Furthermore, before I came in, I understood that there would not be any danger, so many people came in. Chen Shang said. Heavenly artifact, some of them are pretty easy to obtain if you're lucky. The small tree fairy said, the place where there is no danger in Spirit Wasteland is outside. The area where you meet me is relatively safe. Of course, this is only temporary. Quote. Why is it temporary? Chen Shang did not understand. This is because the Spirit Wasteland has just descended onto this land, and many beasts and various items have been gathered in the center area. After a period of time, they will try to go outside to take a look, and at that time, the entire Spirit Wasteland will no longer be safe. The small tree fairy said, with your cultivation, if you don't have any tricks, you will most likely die. Chen Shang was also almost eaten by the small tree fairy. When he thought about it, he felt a little afraid, because the small tree fairy did not seem to be the most terrifying thing here, but was able to kill Huang Shaoshan and the rest. Master, as long as you are with me, you will be safe. The beasts and humans in the Spirit Wasteland would not dare to offend us plants and flowers. They are relying on us to live. The reason why Spirit Wasteland is called Spirit Wasteland is because after all living things here opened up their spirit, they all became unusually strong. This is the special characteristic of Spirit Wasteland. The small tree fairy laughed. Of course, we are also afraid of people like you. Especially those flames you released, they would have great destructive power towards us spiritual flowers, plants, and trees. Chen Shang said, don't worry, I will not use it carelessly, this Spirit Wasteland is not bad, I do not want to destroy this place. You said that there are humans here, then are the humans here strong? Chen Shang asked. Of course I'm strong. Humans and beasts are natural enemies here, and they often fight. But now that so many humans have come from the outside, it poses a greater threat to the beasts here. Therefore, if any humans were to be targeted by the powerful beasts, they would definitely be attacked. The small tree fairy said. The beasts here aren't weak, right? Chen Shang said, he had actually seen something like the phoenix here. Of course not. The biggest characteristic of the beasts in Spirit Wasteland is that none of them are stupid, and most of them can transform. Do you know how dangerous it is for humans now? The small tree fairy said. Beasts that could take human form, and had a high level of intelligence, would be easily ambushed by these beasts if humans were unable to differentiate between them. Of course, not all beasts frequently attack humans. Many beasts are relatively gentle, such as those that don't eat meat, some birds, or fish in the water. The small tree fairy suddenly said, we found your friend, her situation doesn't seem to be good, she has been tied up. What? Chen Shang shouted in shock, how can that be? She was pretty strong, even if she was beaten black and blue, she wouldn't be tied up so easily as she hurt. Quote. No, the group is in a small valley, and only she is tied up. For some reason, I'll bring you there right now, it's not too far away. The small tree fairy said. Chen Shang was clearly caught by his own people, and should be captured by the people from the Infinite Divine Mountain, but why? Xie Chaoyan held a relatively high status within the Infinite Divine Mountain's boundless Pill Dao, and had even gifted a beauty pellet to the Zhang family patriarch a while ago. Chen Shang asked the small tree fairy to pass on what he could see. The small tree fairy also managed to vaguely see something through his connection with the other flowers, plants and trees. Chen Shang had also only seen Xie Chaoyan's face in a daze, but he could still confirm that it was Xie Chaoyan. After that, it was a few people that he was more familiar with, and among them, Ning Quan was suddenly Huang Tian. Other than them, there were also Infinite Master S of the Limitless Pill Dao, as well as Leader Chao Wushwang of the Sky-Piercing Sect and Chao Kunei. After half an hour, the small tree fairy arrived at the small valley. They are all very powerful humans, how do you plan to save that woman? She was also quite strong, but she could only submit to this group of humans. Had she offended this group of humans? Why were you captured? The small tree fairy asked. At this time, Chen Shang could clearly see the things inside the valley. There were more than 200 of them, and their overall power was extremely strong. Forget about Xie Chaoyan being tied up by a special rope, there were also 3 overlapping array discs at her feet. Xie Chaoyan, you still have an hour. The one who spoke was the Infinite Master, he was the Great Elder of the Limitless Pill Dao and had an extremely high position in the Infinite Divine Mountain. Even if I die, I will not compromise with you bastards. Xie Chaoyan said angrily. The 3 longevity fruits in your hands are useless to you, you can still be considered to be very young, and we old fellows don't have very long to live. As long as you hand them over, we guarantee that we won't make things difficult for you in the future. The Infinite Master said. Humph. Xie Chaoyan merely snorted coldly, then closed his eyes and no longer looked at this group of people. Huang Tian suddenly said, 3 seniors of Infinite Divine Mountain, you should leave Xie Chaoyan to me as soon as possible. This way, you can obtain the 3 longevity heavenly fruits in my hands a little more easily. If Xie Chaoyan dies, you won't be able to get anything else. Quote. Chen Shang immediately understood what was going on. Xie Chaoyan and Huang Tian had gotten their hands on 3 longevity heavenly fruits respectively, and this matter had been known to the Leader S, the Limitless Battle Dao and the 2 elders of the Limitless Pill Dao. They were already a little old, so they naturally needed the longevity heavenly fruit to increase their lifespans. Of course Xie Chaoyan would not give it to them. The moment Xie Chaoyan knew that the Limitless Pill Dao was hiding something from him and gave her the broken Infinite Dan method, she secretly hated the Infinite Divine Mountain. Therefore, she was naturally unwilling to hand over the heavenly longevity fruit. When Infinite Divine Mountain's leader and the 2 elders saw her attitude, they were extremely furious and used unyielding methods. This further stimulated the already extremely arrogant Xie Chaoyan. Xie Chaoyan was cold and arrogant, the more he forced her, the more she wouldn't compromise. Chapter 2464. Huang Tian also had 3 longevity heavenly fruits, and right now Huang Tian needed a girl with a high cultivation as the cultivation furnace. So when he saw that Xie Chaoyan was captured and sealed, he suggested a condition, and used the 3 longevity heavenly fruits in exchange for Xie Chaoyan. But they still gave Xie Chaoyan the last chance. If Xie Chaoyan was willing to hand over the longevity heavenly fruit in his hands, they wouldn't need to use her to exchange with Huang Tian. Stop dreaming, even if I die, I will not lower my head to you bastards. Xie Chaoyan's voice was ice cold and his eyes were filled with stubbornness, but there was also despair. Xie Chaoyan was extremely suitable for his cultivation. If he were to dual cultivate with Xie Chaoyan, his cultivation would definitely increase even faster. Right now, he had a very high chance of obtaining Xie Chaoyan, because those 3 big shots of the Infinite Divine Mountain all wanted the longevity heaven fruit very badly. For the sake of the longevity heaven fruit, they actually used a strong method to force Xie Chaoyan to hand it over. Huang Tian, you don't have to worry. We won't let her die. We also know that after she dies, we won't get anything. Infinite Master said, we have already sealed all of her power, it won't be that easy for her to die. Pill Dao Elder, you should exchange with Huang Tian now in case something else happened. The one who spoke was an old man with a lot of wrinkles on his face. Elder Zan Dao, what do you think? Infinite Master asked. We'll do as leader says. It's not like we don't know Xie Chaoyan's personality. The fighting elder sneered. This was also an old man whose face was covered in layers of wrinkles. Chen Shang was also very angry in his heart. They actually sold Xie Chaoyan to Huang Tian just like that, for their own selfish ends, they were actually able to do such a shameless thing. Huang Tian took out a jade box, laughed and said, the 3 seniors are straightforward indeed. I will give you 2 longevity fruits first, and when Xie Chaoyan gets to me, I will give you the remaining 1. Just as Huang Tian finished his sentence, a hand appeared in the air. This was Chen Zhang's hand. He used his spatial energy and had his hand reach out to grab the jade box. Who is it? Quick, catch him! Huang Tian immediately shouted in alarm as a powerful aura surged out from his body. Ning Quan was also looking around vigilantly, but he did not see anything. Limitless Leader's voice was cold as he said, who is the expert? Don't sneak around, hurry up and come out. The consequences of harming our Infinite Divine Mountain are extremely serious. Quote. You scoundrels, are just a joke in my eyes, ha ha eh. Chen Zhang's voice suddenly came out, shocking both Ning Quan and Huang Tian. Quick, look at Xie Chaoyan eh. Huang Tian reacted and quickly shouted. Xie Chaoyan was located in the middle of the Infinite Divine Mountain's 3 great leaders, but when Huang Tian shouted, Xie Chaoyan and the 3 array discs disappeared. It's the space laws. Chen Shang, if you know what's good for you, hand over Xie Chaoyan and the heavenly longevity fruit immediately, or else you'll definitely suffer a terrible end. Quote. This daddy has heard too much of these bullshit. It's you old bastards who are about to enter their coffins that even left behind a curse before you die. You all better not enter the divine city created by the 3 great native banks. I guarantee that after you all enter, there will be a lot of words that will scold you all until your heads will be drenched in dog blood. Quote. Chen Zhang's appearance was unexpected, and the three big shots of the infinite divine mountain did not understand. They had clearly sealed the space, but Chen Shang was still able to bring Xie Chaoyan away through the seal. This group of people in the valley weren't weak either, but Chen Zhang's cultivation was extremely low. He was actually saved by Chen Shang in front of so many people, and Huang Tian nearly vomited blood. What made him so angry that he almost fainted was that he was about to get the beauty Xie Chaoyan right away, but Chen Shang appeared again, ruined his plans. Brother Huang, are you all right? Ning Quan immediately went to support Huang Tian. I'm fine. Huang Tian took a deep breath and covered his chest with one hand. Huang Tian, your son Huang Shaoshan has already been killed by me. Chen Zhang's voice came from the sky, indicating that he was still in the vicinity. Huang Tian had already caught his breath, but after hearing this news, he couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. Chen Shang, I must kill you, I must. Huang Tian's voice was filled with hatred and anger. Split up and search, he must not find it, he still has 2 heavenly artifact on him. Infinite Master shouted, and then everyone split up and moved. Chen Shang was currently hiding inside the small tree fairy's divine sense sea world. He had already pulled Xie Chaoyan out from within the seal, and the seal formed by the 3 array discs was still very strong. Thank you. Xie Chaoyan heaved a long sigh of relief, but her face was currently pale white. When she was sealed, divine sense sea's power was also suppressed, but she had already gradually recovered, and her face had regained its vitality. It's good that you're fine. Chen Shang chuckled, you should be more considerate in the future. What is this place? Xie Chaoyan nodded her head. Seeing the smile on Chen Zhang's face, she felt more at ease. Previously, she thought she was done for. Inside a tree, we're safe now. Chen Shang had already ordered the small tree fairy to leave the valley. Chen Shang took out the jade box that he had bought from Huang Tian. Inside the box were 3 fist-sized fruits that looked like emeralds. This is the eternal heaven fruit. Chen Shang praised. As expected, it's a good thing. Don't you have 3 as well? Xie Chaoyan nodded her head as she took out a small tree and said, I had discovered the fruit tree long ago. When I was fighting with a savage beast, Huang Tian came over immediately. Hee, it's all ours now. Chen Shang laughed. Those bastards must be very sad right now. Xie Chaoyan smiled slightly. She was truly very happy, and this was the first time Chen Shang had seen her smile. Take the fruit and give me the little tree, okay? The small tree fairy suddenly said. Who is it? Xie Chaoyan suddenly became alert. Chao Yan, he is the small tree fairy, we are currently in his divine sense sea world, we are extremely safe here. Just give him that tree. Chen Shang said. Xie Chaoyan was saved by Chen Shang, and after knowing that the small tree fairy also saved her, she gave the tree to the small tree fairy without hesitation. Chapter 2465. Xie Chaoyan handed over the 3 longevity heavenly fruits in his hands to Chen Shang. For you. At this time, she was extremely grateful to Chen Shang. If not for Chen Shang, she would not have known what would happen right now. No need, I have 3 myself. Chen Shang laughed. You really don't want it? Xie Chaoyan asked in a low voice, this is very precious. Besides, I don't need it now. But even without these longevity fruits, I think those old fellows would still use me to threaten you. Quote. Threatening me? Chen Shang laughed. You have 2 heavenly artifacts with you, and they are skilled in superior pill techniques. It's all very useful to them, and they know I'm very close to you. When I went back to the infinite divine mountain, they asked me how my relationship with you was progressing. Quote. Xie Chaoyan's eyes moved, and she asked softly, if they were to use me to threaten you, would you compromise? Chen Shang laughed. If I cannot save you, of course I will compromise, I don't want to lose you. Xie Chaoyan lowered her head slightly. She had kissed Chen Shang previously, and she knew then that Chen Shang wanted to take over her. At that time, she was also forced to take over half a step and was forced to be kissed by Chen Shang. This group of fellows are really greedy. They seem to already have heavenly artifacts, but they still want more. Chen Shang laughed. Xie Chaoyan only sighed lightly. She also didn't think that the infinite divine mountain would actually treat her like this. This was even more cruel than abandoning her. Chao Yan, come with us. Chen Shang suddenly pulled Xie Chaoyan closer to him, allowing her to lean into his embrace. Xie Chaoyan also just struggled a little. Chen Shang embraced her proud and aloof but extremely soft body. He was secretly pleased in his heart, feeling that he had almost conquered this woman. He placed his hands on Xie Chaoyan's jade face and gently caressed it. Then, he used his hands to hold her jade face and made her raise her head. Xie Chaoyan's gaze was filled with complexity as she avoided Chen Zhang's gaze. She didn't know why, but her heart inexplicably jumped very quickly as her cheeks flushed red. She was also secretly looking forward to something from the bottom of her heart. This time, Chen Shang didn't even need to forcefully kiss Xie Chaoyan, instead, he just passively and easily kissed her. After a while, Xie Chaoyan leaned bashfully on Chen Zhang's chest. When I found out that you entered this mountain range, I was extremely worried. I even planned to look for you and take you with me. I never thought that you would be the one to save me from behind the scenes. Xie Chaoyan sat on Chen Zhang's thigh, leaning into Chen Zhang's embrace. Chen Shang caressed her face and laughed. How could I be captured that easily? Right, how did you know that I entered this mountain range? Quote. Leader suddenly said that someone sent a message to him. At that time, he secretly sent a message to the other disciples of Infinite Divine Mountain, telling them to go look for you. Xie Chaoyan said. Chen Shang kissed her forehead and asked, how are you recovering now? It's about time. Xie Chaoyan left Chen Zhang's embrace and arranged his clothes. Chen Shang kept the small tree fairy staring at Huang Tian. He asked, Small tree fairy, how is Huang Tian now? He's together with another guy. That guy seems to be called Ning Quan. The small tree fairy said. Get close to them, right? Where are those three old fellows? Where did they all go? Chen Shang asked again. They said they were going to find someone who can figure out where you are. The small tree fairy made Chen Shang frown. That person was definitely from the undead divine race. Who is it? To think that I would be able to find out where you are. Xie Chaoyan was already impressed by Chen Zhang's concealed strength. He had approached them secretly, but the three big shots of Infinite Divine Mountain did not know about it. Undead divine races, Chen Shang said, these people are truly lingering around like ghosts. If I had the strength, I would have shoveled them out first. Xie Chaoyan had told Zhang Xian to be careful of undead divine race before, because she was looking for him everywhere. Undead divine race and I have a grudge, but it won't be so easy for them to catch me either. Looks like I'll be safer in the cities of the three great native banks in the future. Chen Shang sighed, without great strength, it's best not to run around. The leaders behind the three native banks were all very powerful as they controlled the order of the entire wasteland. If there were people causing trouble in the city they built, they would act and even the undead divine race would fear them. Huang Tian must be related to the undead divine race. Chen Shang said. The Huang Profound that Chen Shang had killed earlier belonged to the undead divine race, while Huang Profound had to help Huang Tian. They were all surnamed Huang, so there had to be a branch of the Huang family in the undead divine race, and this was exactly the case for Huang Jintian. The small tree fairy was now close to Huang Tian and the others. With my strength, I can deal with these two. I don't need any of you to do anything. The small tree fairy laughed. Alright, try it first. If it doesn't work, then we'll make our move. Chen Shang said. Although Xie Chaoyan was not a match for the Infinite Divine Mountain's three great leaders, dealing with Huang Tian was not a problem. Her strength was still much stronger than Huang Tian. When the small tree fairy was still a distance away from Huang Tian and the others, it came to the ground and turned into a big tree. This flower was the blue phoenix flower from before. It was able to release a trace of an extremely peculiar fragrance, and was currently luring Huang Tian and Ning Quan. Will that work? Chen Shang asked. Definitely. According to my observation, those two fellows are very greedy. They will definitely take the bait. Just watch. The small tree fairy was very confident. Sure enough, before long, Chen Shang and Xie Chaoyan who were inside the big tree could pass through a curtain of light. They saw two people quickly walking over. It was Huang Tian and Ning Quan. This mountain range is truly surprising. Ning Quan excitedly went over, just in front of Huang Tian. Seeing these strange flowers and herbs, he did not want to miss it. There was only one flower in front of him, and he was afraid that Ning Quan would take it all for himself. In just a few blinks of an eye, they had all arrived underneath the big tree. Ning Quan reached his hands into the hole in the tree. Just as he was about to grab the indigo phoenix flower, the hole in the tree suddenly shrank back and clamped onto Ning Quan's hand. Brother Huang, please do me a favor and chop down this tree. This strange tree should be intelligent to actually know how to protect this flower. Ning Quan anxiously said. Huang Tian walked over and grabbed Ning Quan's arm with all his might. He wanted to pull Ning Quan's hand out, but Ning Quan had to shout loudly. Stop bullshitting, it hurts. Just cut down the big tree, hurry up. Ning Quan shouted. He could feel that the hole in the tree was tightening. Huang Tian had no other choice but to take out a knife and hack at the big tree. The moment he swung his sword, his feet were entangled by tree roots. Then, many tree vines appeared from the big tree, instantly entangling Huang Tian tightly. Chapter 2466. After Huang Tian was entangled, he saw Chen Shang and Xie Chaoyan suddenly appear. Ning Quan, whose hands were still stuck in the tree hole, also shouted out in shock. At this time, he was also tied up by the tree vines released by the small tree fairy. All of you did this? Ning Quan shouted anxiously. Senior Master, quickly save me. I know Huang Tian has always wanted to have you, but I have always been against him. Quote. Hearing that, Xie Chaoyan's face turned cold. Don't think that I don't know that you were the one who suggested this to Huang Tian, saying that you wanted to use the longevity heavenly fruit to exchange. Don't call me Junior Master, I am no longer from Infinite Divine Mountain. While talking, Xie Chaoyan had already taken out a long sword. Seeing the cold gleam on the sword, Ning Quan's entire body shivered. The cold expression on Xie Chaoyan's face showed that she would not show mercy. Ibdu. Uncle Master, Martial Uncle. Huang Tianjun and I are not on the same side. If you want to kill him, I have never harmed your interests. Ning Quan wailed. HMPH, don't think that I don't know about your scheme with Huang Tian. I won't believe your lies. Xie Chaoyan was not a gentle and kind girl to begin with. She had already wielded her long sword and cut down Ning Quan's neck, and decapitated him. As Huang Tian saw this, his already terrified heart turned cold. He knew that he was dead for sure. Xie Chaoyan had been so decisive in killing Ning Quan that she had never hesitated for sure. Chen Shang came to the bottom of the sky and smiled. Didn't you say you wanted to kill me or something? Now it seems like you are going to be killed, ha ha ha. Seeing Chen Zhang's current taunt, Huang Tian was once again angry in his heart. He wanted to slap Chen Shang to death, but he had already been bound tightly, to the point that he couldn't even move a finger. Chao Yan, do you want to come or should I? Chen Shang asked. It's better if you do it. You and him have had a conflict, I don't want to kill this kind of guy. Xie Chaoyan passed the long sword in his hand to Chen Shang. Chen Shang took the long sword, and said to Huang Tian with a smile, both father and son have died in my hands. If there is a next life, you can also become father and son like this. Chen Shang, you little beasta, before Huang Tian could finish cursing, his head was chopped off by Chen Shang. Huang Tian and Ning Quan's cultivation were relatively high, and to the small tree fairy, this was a huge feast. Following that, Xie Chaoyan saw how a tree was able to absorb 2 corpses, and he even told her about Huang Shaoshan and the others who were devoured by the small tree fairy before. Although the taste of this guy is not good, the energy is still quite strong. I am quite satisfied with it. The small tree fairy laughed. Do you guys still want to follow me deeper in? Of course I want to go in, maybe I can even find heavenly artifact inside. Chen Shang said, and then he and Xie Chaoyan went back into the small tree fairy's divine sense sea world. Although the voice of the small tree fairy was like that of a young child's, it was extremely refined, so Chen Shang did not need to worry that something bad would happen while he was in the deeper parts. That group of old fellows are also going to enter deeper. They seem to know what is in the depths, and they understand this spirit wasteland quite well. Xie Chaoyan suddenly said, I don't know what basis they have to find the heavenly artifact, but it's not that simple. This reminded Chen Shang of the undead divine race. Not long after he entered the spirit wasteland, the Ning family already knew about him entering there. It was definitely what the undead divine race had told them. Chen Shang immediately understood that the undead divine race was trying to rope in these forces because he knew that there was a gap between them and the 3 great native bank. It should be the undead divine race. Chen Shang said, if the undead divine race is able to form an alliance with these powers, then they might have to deal with the 3 great native banks. The power of the 3 great native banks is extremely terrifying. Does the undead divine race really have the power to shake them? Xie Chaoyan shook her head, she felt that it was not possible. Hard to say, undead divine race is very mysterious. Chen Shang still did not have a thorough understanding of undead divine race, but he knew how ambitious undead divine race was. Now that the undead divine race was together with the evil spirit race, their powers would definitely become stronger, and with the sudden appearance of the spirit wasteland, Chen Shang felt that the situation was not so simple. Small tree fairy, didn't you say that there is the ancient desolation? Could it be that other than the spirit wasteland, there are 7 other ancient wastelands? Chen Shang asked. Yes. However, our spirit wasteland's strength is at the top. As for the other 7 wastelands, they have always been hidden here. The small tree fairy said, your new 8 wastelands is definitely not as strong as the ancient 8 desolate land. Chen Shang shook his head. At this point in time, even he did not understand the new 8 wastelands very well, let alone the ancient 8 desolations. Right now, there's no need to think too much into it. The most important thing is to improve your own strength, Xie Chaoyan said. When Xie Chaoyan had been captured earlier, it made her even more aware that her own strength was too weak and she had almost allowed herself to be slaughtered. Thus, ever since that incident before, she became even more determined to work hard to increase her strength in the future, so as to prevent such a thing from happening again. Ah, it's so cold, there's some tough guys fighting up there, it looks like a dragon. The small tree fairy suddenly shouted. Are you okay? Chen Shang asked anxiously. I'm fine, I have seen dragons before, so I know the aura of dragons. However, this dragon seems to be a bit tender, but it is also considered a rather rare species in the spirit wasteland. The small tree fairy said. Is an ice dragon a rare species in the spirit wasteland? Chen Shang asked. Most of the dragons that could use the power of the cold were ice dragons. Of course not, there are still some ice dragons. However, this one doesn't seem like an ice dragon. Although it can use the power of the cold, it has a unique aura. The small tree fairy said. If that was the case, then there could only be one possibility. The dragon that was standing on the stage was a white dragon. Let's go up and take a look. Chen Shang told Chen Shang that in this era, Long Xuangru was the only white dragon. Long Shui came from another era, so it could not be counted. The small tree fairy immediately came to the ground and revealed what she had seen in her own divine sense sea world for Chen Shang and Xie Chaoyan to see. A white-robed woman was in the midst of battle. She held a long white sword in her hand as she battled against 2 black-clothed men. It's Xuangru, Chen Shang immediately shouted. You know this woman? Xie Chaoyan asked anxiously. Chen Shang was her lover now, and although she knew Chen Shang was a playboy, she was still a little jealous. Long Jushao's daughter, Chen Shang said. Xie Chaoyan had already known that Chen Shang had a heavenly furnace previously, and that it was a pill furnace created by Long Jushao. Therefore, she immediately thought that the heavenly furnace was a gift from Long Jushao, and the relationship between Chen Shang and her daughter was definitely very good. Chao Yan, how is your strength compared to the 2 men in black? Can you help Xuangru? She's my friend, Chen Shang said. Chapter 2467. Chen Shang didn't know why Long Xuangru had appeared in this spirit wasteland either, and why he had entered so deep all of a sudden. No problem, big sister Chao Yan is only stronger than them. The small tree fairy laughed. Xie Chaoyan nodded, leave it to me. The small tree fairy telling Xie Chaoyan to go out, the sudden appearance of Xie Chaoyan on the battlefield surprised both Long Xuangru and the 2 black-clothed men. At first, Long Xuangru was worried that Xie Chaoyan was the helper of the 2 black-robed men, but when she saw that Xie Chaoyan had appeared, she immediately attacked the 2 black-clothed men, causing her to heave a sigh of relief. After that, Long Xuangru and Xie Chaoyan joined hands, and with the help of sound transmission, they quickly killed the 2 men in black. It was only at this time that Chen Shang came out from the divine sense sea world of the small tree fairy. Xuangru, why are you here? Chen Shang laughed. Is Hundreds of Flowers village all right? Not bad. Long Xuangru immediately understood. The woman who had come to help her just now was precisely called over by Chen Shang. She smiled and said, who is this big sister? Could it be your new wife? Quote. This, I guess so. Chen Shang coughed dryly. Not yet, Xie Chaoyan said anxiously, afraid that Long Xuangru would misunderstand. Under their cooperation just now, Long Xuangru knew that Xie Chaoyan was very strong, much stronger than Chen Shang. However, she was not surprised at all by Chen Shang being able to be on good terms with such a woman. You guys hurry up and come in, it's too dangerous outside. The small tree fairy shouted. You guys have a great battle here, it's very noisy, let's leave here first. Then, Chen Shang and the two girls entered the divine sense sea world of the small tree fairy. After Xie Chaoyan and Long Xuanru introduced themselves, Long Xuanru was extremely shocked. Xie Chaoyan, this is a master above the Dan God list of 8 wastelands and the only female alchemist of the limitless Pill Dao. Long Xuanru knew that Chen Zhang's alchemy skills were extremely high, it was normal for Chen Shang to be so close to him. In order to cure his father, Long Xuanru had a deep understanding of the art of alchemy, especially the alchemist above Dan God list of 8 wastelands. I no longer belong to Infinite Divine Mountain. Speaking of this matter, Xie Chaoyan couldn't help but let out a faint sigh, and then, Chen Shang briefly explained the matter of Xie Chaoyan being arrested. Sister Chaoyan, why don't you join our Hundreds of Flowers village? The ones who are really in love with each other are all women. Long Xuanru held onto Xie Chaoyan's jade hand, and said with a light smile. Long Xuanru stayed in the Hundreds of Flowers village for a while and felt a sense of belonging towards the Hundreds of Flowers village, even though she was a dragon. Hundreds of Flowers village, Xie Chaoyan looked at Chen Shang. Didn't you tell her? Long Xuanru asked in surprise, she's not your woman. I just said it, not yet. Xie Chaoyan said with a bit of a blush. Long Xuanru pinched Chen Shang. You were right earlier, how dare you lie to me? Chen Shang was pinched to the point of pain, he cried out, Xuanru, you must have learnt bad things from those crazy girls back in Hundreds of Flowers village. You actually know how to pinch me. Quote. After that, Long Xuanru informed Xie Chaoyan of the existence of the Hundreds of Flowers village. After hearing about it, Xie Chaoyan was also very interested and decided to go take a look. Oh right, Xuanru, why are you here? Furthermore, it's you who is doing it, it's too dangerous. Chen Shang asked again, although he asked earlier, Long Xuanru did not answer. I came to look for Shui Ying. She had just formed a Dao pill and left without a sound. Imperial concubine Lian used the heaven extended method to calculate that she was here, so I came. Long Xuanru said, she was considered strong in the Hundreds of Flowers village, that was why she was allowed to take a look. Xie Chaoyan was shocked, she never thought that there would actually be women from the undead divine race in there. She knew that only the undead divine race knew about heaven extended method. Is Shui Ying also a female from the Hundreds of Flowers village? She just came in here alone with her Dao Dan realm, it's very dangerous. Xie Chaoyan said. I actually saw her. Chen Shang frowned. Shui Ying was the Phoenix Princess, and he was sure that the phoenix he saw earlier was Shui Ying. What? Then why aren't you with her? Xie Chaoyan looked at Chen Shang reproachfully. Noah, I wasn't sure it was her then. Chen Shang sighed, Shui Ying is a phoenix. When I saw her before, I did not dare confirm that it was her because I felt that she should be inside the Hundreds of Flowers village. Phoenix eh? Phoenix? Xie Chaoyan was stunned. When we entered deeper inside, we also met a phoenix, could it be that she is Shui Ying? Chen Shang nodded his head, it's all my fault for being too careless however, I was planning to ask her about it, but she flew too fast and someone was trying to catch her. Quote. Xie Chaoyan never thought that not only was there a dragon in the Hundreds of Flowers village, there was even a phoenix. She wanted to know what kind of woman there was in the Hundreds of Flowers village. Don't worry, she's very strong now eh, I don't know why. Chen Shang patted the ground and said, Small tree fairy, didn't you say you were talking about the phoenix before? There's nothing much to say. She's one of the heavenly beast, the emperor within birds. Of course she's very strong the phoenix that was previously missing in the spirit wasteland has disappeared for a long time now, the strength of this new phoenix is not any weaker than the old phoenix. The small tree fairy said, Master, you are really awesome, you know so many female heavenly beast AA. Small tree fairy, quickly find that phoenix. Chen Shang said. Alright, if she turns into her human form, then it might be difficult to find her. The small tree fairy said, can you give me her human form? Chen Shang immediately released Shui Ying's shadow, looking extremely beautiful with a braid hanging on his chest, looking very pretty when he smiled. The small tree fairy was immediately found. He said, she is currently very safe, she is currently in a forest. I will bring all of you to find her now. Alright, hurry up, Chen Shang said. After knowing that the phoenix was Shui Ying, he was even more worried. Chen Shang, I heard your master say that you are living well outside, is that true? She had heard all kinds of legends about Chen Shang from the hundreds of flowers village, so from the bottom of her heart, she also hoped to be able to travel with Chen Shang. Nothing, didn't I tell you before? I am a troublemaker. Chen Shang laughed. Up till now, I have only offended Infinite Divine Mountain A. Of course, there's also the undead divine race here. They have started to look at me. Quote. Then aren't you in danger? After Long Xuanru finished speaking, he smiled and said, I forgot about the divine city that the three great native banks established. When you returned earlier, you told us about it. He is very safe in the three money divine city, there is no need to worry, it is just that sometimes he will run out, just like now. Xie Chaoyan said. If I don't run out, who will save you? Chen Shang chuckled, and then, he caressed Xie Chaoyan's face. Long Xuanru could already tell what Xie Chaoyan was thinking from his expression. Where's Hongqing and Shang Yin? You're not going to let them do all the work for you, are you? Long Xuanru asked. Of course not, they are doing very well now. Chen Shang was extremely worried that the women in the hundreds of flowers village would forcefully take the two beautiful women away. We're here, the small tree fairy suddenly said, but besides the phoenix, there are other things here. Chapter 2468. The small tree fairy did not let Chen Shang go out because he sensed danger and could tell from his voice. Then how is Shui Ying now? Chen Shang asked anxiously, what other things are here? 2. I don't know what it is that I can't see, but I can feel it. Phoenix seems to have sensed it too, but she is currently very calm. Quote. Something invisible. Chen Shang was shocked, only the evil spirit race had such a ability, let me out. The evil spirit race was not easy to deal with. Chen Shang was very worried, the small tree fairy originally did not plan to let Chen Shang out, because it was too dangerous. It was the same for Long Xuanru and Xie Chaoyan. All of you enter the Yuyao Mountain Villa first. You can come out when you are needed. Seeing his serious expression, Xie Chaoyan and Long Xuanru could only listen to him. This was Xie Chaoyan's first time entering the Yuyao Mountain Villa, but she already knew that Yang Shangyan and Chu Hongqing were here. Chen Shang used the counter power to make himself invisible, and then left the small tree fairy's divine sense sea world. Coming outside, he immediately used the Dao Heart Eye and saw two red figures. He was extremely careful and did not get discovered by the two powerful evil spirits. Shui Ying was dressed in white, her long hair hanging in front of her chest, her face was cold and beautiful, her body carried a faint amount of might, her beautiful eyes were filled with a sharp light, exuding a domineering aura, after all, she was a phoenix. Among the heavenly beast, the number of phoenixes was even less than that of dragons. The current Shui Ying looked mature and cold. The first time Chen Shang saw her, there was a huge difference. It seems like you came here specifically for me. Shui Ying's voice carried a trace of disdain, do you really think you have the power to swallow me? Chen Shang used the Dao Heart Eye to stare at the two red figures. He did not know why Shui Ying had become so strong, but he felt that it had something to do with this spirit wasteland. What about me? A yellow-haired old man suddenly appeared, causing Chen Shang to be startled, because he did not know how this old man appeared. The moment the yellow-haired old man appeared, Shui Ying released a strong wave of heat, but the heat wave was concentrated on the two evil spirit races and the yellow-haired old man. You are just a little girl who has just obtained the power of an old phoenix. Do you think we are that easy to deal with? We will definitely be able to take you down today. The yellow-haired old man laughed loudly. HMPH, you all are too arrogant. As Shui Ying spoke, a flaming sword appeared in her hand, and she instantly appeared beside one of the evil spirit race. She could actually see the invisible evil spirit race. Can she see me? Chen Shang was suspicious, but he was sure that the yellow-haired old man and the two evil spirit race did not know that he was here. Right now, Chen Shang was sure that the yellow-haired old man was from the undead divine race. They should be here to capture the phoenix, not for Chen Shang. Chen Shang knew that even if he could get close, he would not be able to successfully launch a sneak attack. Even though his heavenly magic sword was sharp, but because the difference in strength between him and his opponent was too great, it was unable to break his opponent's defense. However, he was extremely worried for Shui Ying. He sent a sound transmission to the small tree fairy and asked, Small tree fairy, do you think that together with Xuangru and her, they would be able to deal with that yellow-haired old man? Shui Ying had already started to fight with the two invisible evil spirit races, but the yellow-haired old man did not do anything. It was clear that he felt that there was no need to do anything now. The yellow-haired old man isn't weak. If those two women join hands, then it would be very difficult for them, unless they have a way to divert his attention. The small tree fairy said. If I seal him for an instant, will he succeed? Chen Shang asked. If you cooperate well with Shuang Ru and you can seal the yellow-haired old man for an instant, then taking him down shouldn't be a problem. The small tree fairy said. Chen Shang immediately sent a sound transmission to Xie Chaoyan and Long Xuangru, telling them to prepare their moves, that they had to be fast, and that they wanted to kill Xie Chaoyan in one shot. Xie Chaoyan and Long Xuangru both had a lot of battle experience, so they were confident that they could succeed and cooperate with Chen Shang to make a beautiful sneak attack. Chen Shang secretly activated the Daoyuan immortal power and natural law principles that he had at his disposal. He was prepared to use the entire strength of the Six Realms mirrors. There were many powerful sealing formations inside the Six Realms mirrors. Get ready. After Chen Shang finished speaking, he used his spatial energy to move the Six Realms mirrors below the yellow-haired old man, and then activated the Six Realms mirrors to release the formation. In that instant, he teleported next to the yellow-haired old man and summoned Xie Chaoyan and Long Xuangru out of the Yuyao Mountain Villa. When the yellow-haired old man sensed a spatial ripple, he immediately became alert, but when he was alert, he found that he could not move at all. Following that, Chen Shang appeared beside him, accompanied by two aggressive-looking women. Long Xuangru and Xie Chaoyan activated an extremely strong Daoyuan immortal power at the same time. Although it was just one ice and one fire, they were very skilled in using the laws, being able to fuse ice and fire, and then thrusting the Daoyuan immortal power into the yellow-haired old man's head. The yellow-haired old man's mind shook from the strike. The Daoyuan immortal power that he was using was also scattered, while Chen Shang continued to summon his Six Realms mirrors, at the same time throwing his heavenly magic sword over to Long Xuangru. Long Xuangru took the heavenly magic sword and hacked at the yellow-haired old man. In a moment, dozens of swords slashed across, chopping the heavenly magic sword into many small pieces. Chen Shang took out the Chuangshi God Furnace and stored all the pieces into the Chuangshi God Furnace. Done, Chen Shang said excitedly, then used the power of God's Eye to transmit what he saw into Long Xuangru's and Xie Chaoyan's eyes. This way, they could see the evil spirit race and go help Shui Ying. Sister Shuang Ru, Chen Shang. Why are you guys here? Shui Ying was very happy. Without the yellow-haired old man, the pressure on her was greatly reduced. She also noticed that although she did not know Xie Chaoyan, but from her understanding of Chen Shang, she knew that he was the woman that Chen Shang knew. With Long Xuangru and Xie Chaoyan joining the battle, the three girls quickly killed the two powerful evil spirit races and ended the battle. Shui Ying, you left without saying anything. We are worried to death about you. Long Xuangru scolded as she pinched Shui Ying's jade face. At that time, I was also in a daze. I came here based on my senses, and then I experienced some things. I obtained the inheritance of the ancient Phoenix A. I also know a few things. After flying around here, I met those guys. Shui Ying was also somewhat guilty. I'm really sorry for making you worry. It's good that you're fine. Chen Shang laughed. I'm not used to your current appearance, but you look a lot better. Am I not good looking to begin with? Shui Ying smiled sweetly and then walked over to Chen Zhang's side. Chapter 2469 X. Shui Ying was alright now. Long Xuangru and Chen Shang also could feel at ease. This was not the first time Chen Shang saved her, so she could clearly remember the scene back then when Chen Shang saved her. Let's go back now, Long Xuangru said. I keep having the feeling that it's not safe inside this place. There's danger at any time. YBDU. This is indeed the case, there are dangers everywhere, let's hurry up and get out. Shui Ying nodded, then looked at Chen Shang and smiled. It can't be that you want to stroll around here. Alright, I'll send you out, then I'll come back. Chen Shang nodded, he truly wanted to explore this spirit wasteland. Shui Ying was LV Kilian's disciple and was often together with little Lizzie and the others. Naturally, she understood Chen Zhang's personality, so she could guess it. Using his spatial power, Chen Shang brought the three girls out of the spirit wasteland, arriving at the city outside. Chao Yan, go back to the Hundreds of Flowers village with them. Chen Shang said, if you get tired of staying inside, you can also come out for a walk. Xie Chaoyan looked at Shui Ying and Long Xuangru, and then nodded. Shui Ying and Long Xuangru, one dragon and one phoenix, were on par with her, and even a little stronger than her. Chen Shang took out a piece of jade talisman, and left some words she had said to LV Kilian in there. She then asked her to arrange things for Xie Chaoyan, and tell him about some things related to Xie Chaoyan. Be careful on the way, Chen Shang warned repeatedly. These three women were very powerful, so Chen Shang was not too worried. After watching them leave, Chen Shang returned to the spirit wasteland and found the small tree fairy. We can't just walk around aimlessly here. We need to have a target, the small tree fairy said. I'm very curious about this human world inside spirit wasteland. Chen Shang thought for a moment, then said, he wanted to see what was different about this ancient spirit wasteland. I only brought you to that area. I don't dare to go deeper in. If those humans discover me, I'll be in danger, the small tree fairy said. Chen Shang nodded, and then entered the small tree fairy's Divine Sense Sea World. 6 hours later, Chen Shang came out from Divine Sense Sea World. The human world is just ahead. There is a big city inside. You are a human, so there shouldn't be any problem entering. If there is a threat, you can just run away, the small tree fairy said. I'm going hunting, I need to eat something. Alright, then we'll meet again someday. Chen Shang smiled at the small tree fairy. Goodbye. Small tree fairy didn't win in a flash. Chen Shang looked at the large mountain in front of him. After going over those mountains, he would be able to reach the city where the spirit wasteland's humans were gathered. Looking down from the top of the mountain, the houses in front of him were as far as he could see. It was an extremely densely packed human city, and standing at the peak, Chen Shang could even faintly hear the noise of the city. This spirit wasteland is not simple, there is a very strong protective array. I wonder if I can enter with the white tiger leap. Chen Shang teleported to the foot of the mountain, then arrived at the long city walls. There were many people queuing up at the city gate to enter. Chen Shang queued for a short while before he was finally able to enter. What made him curious was that this ancient spirit wasteland actually used jade money too. His jade money could be used here, which meant that the influence of the three great native banks also affected this city, which made him very surprised. The three great native banks actually had such a strong influence during the ancient era of the wasteland. Chen Shang asked while he was lining up. A lot of people who entered the city came from other cities, but there were also people from New 8 wastelands outside. The entry fee was 100,000 jade money, so it wasn't very expensive. After entering the city, Chen Shang found out that the biggest characteristic of this place was that many things were ancient, but the strength of the things here was not weak at all. Chen Shang took a look around the streets. Although there was a pill shop, the pills sold there were all of a very low quality. He also found that this city was different from the others. It was inside the city as well as the city. When he was shopping, he saw that there were walls inside. The enclosures were huge, but he could not enter. After asking around, he quickly understood that in order to enter the innermost city, one would need to have a cultivation base at the 3rd level of Daodan realm. He also heard that even with a cultivation at the 3rd level of Daodan realm, there were many restrictions to entering. Now Chen Shang understood why he did not see any good stuff to sell outside, but what made him curious was that there were quite a few people above the 3rd level of Daodan realm outside as well. But why were they outside? When Chen Shang was eating at a hotel, he asked a waiter about it. The waiter told Chen Shang that because he worked too hard inside, with too many restrictions, many people who were at the 3rd level of the Daodan realm chose to stay outside. Why is it so hard? Chen Shang was a little puzzled. Someone in the 3rd level of the Daodan realm would definitely not be poor, even if they were poor, it wouldn't be too arduous for them. You don't understand. If you enter the inner city, you will have to do something if you don't have a higher cultivation base. For example, you must join the army and become a soldier. The waiter said, this means that even if you don't want to fight, you still have to go. Right now, it's a war between humans and beasts. Furthermore, there are times when conflicts occur. Why did you let me go? If a powerful cultivator were to make a move, he would be able to kill off the enemy's small soldier at any time. This way, you don't have to sacrifice your small soldier. Chen Shang said. The enemy has a general too. If we have a general on our side, they will have someone with the same strength to tie us down. The enemy has a general, if we have a general on our side, they will have someone with the same strength. The waiter said. Chen Shang currently had not reached the 3rd stage of the spirit core formation stage, so he was unable to enter the inner city. However, he planned to cultivate for a period of time as well, so he wanted to enter the inner city to take a look. Although the living environment in the inner city was rather harsh, it was very interesting to Chen Shang. Furthermore, He wanted to understand the roles that the three great native banks played in this place, to think that he could see their native bank wherever he went. Chen Shang asked for a room in the inn, then ate his Qingyuan Dan and started cultivating. He needed to quickly break through to the third level of the Dao Dan realm, as this way, he could enter the inner city as soon as possible. While Chen Shang was cultivating, a group of people suddenly came outside of the city. They were extremely aggressive, but they still had to obediently line up. White Spirit City Master, you're not dead yet. What a cheap life. A yellow-robed old man sneered as he saw a middle-aged man walk out of the city gate. You look more like a dead person. Why should I die if you're not dead? He is the city lord of this White Spirit City. Chapter 2470. This group of people the White Spirit City Lord was facing were indeed from undead divine race in his group. They only came here with one goal in mind, to find Chen Shang. You and I won't die, it's not like you don't know. The yellow-robed old man harumphed. You just won't die of old age, but that doesn't mean you won't be killed. The White Spirit City Lord laughed. What brings you all to this city? I don't really welcome you all. Quote. So what if you don't welcome us? Can you stop us from entering the city? What are we doing here? It's none of your business. The yellow-robed elder's attitude was extremely bad, causing the White Spirit City Lord to furrow his brows. The White Spirit City Lord sighed. If I do not welcome you all, it means that I do not wish for you all to enter this city. The current me can indeed stop you all from entering. You don't need to queue up, I won't let you enter the White Spirit City. Quote. Yan Guang, you are not the head of this city, even though you are a city lord, you are only managing this city. You are breaking the city's rules, aren't you afraid that your position in the city lord will be lost? The yellow-robed old man said coldly. That's right, this city is not mine. I am just a manager. Even if the position of the city lord is not preserved, I will not allow you to enter the city. Yan Guang laughed. You guys are not convinced. Come beat me up, I'm not afraid of you hitting me. Quote. The yellow-robed old man was so angry that his entire body was trembling. He truly did not dare to make a move. Yan Guang laughed out loud, then took out a chair, and just sat at the city gate, not allowing the yellow-robed elder and the others to enter the White Spirit City. Yan Guang, wait for the 3 Dao sovereigns of White Spirit City to return. We'll see what you'll do. Okay, we'll wait here. If they were here, they wouldn't let you do anything rash. The yellow-robed old man said angrily. Seeing their flustered and exasperated expressions, Yan Guang could guess that they had important matters to attend to in the city, and that Yan Guang had grudges with them before, so he stopped them from entering. Seeing their appearances, he was secretly satisfied. Chen Shang was currently training, so he did not know that the people chasing him from the undead divine race were already outside the city gate. However, because he saw that the 3 great native banks were inside, he was not too worried, and felt that this city definitely had something to do with the 3 great native banks. In the blink of an eye, 2 months had passed. Chen Shang had eaten quite a few Qingyuan Dan before breaking through the 3rd level of Dao Dan realm. Chen Shang came out of his room and ordered a table of good dishes. While he was eating, he suddenly heard someone talking about the things outside the city. The rarely seen city lord is actually sitting guard outside of the city for an entire 2 months. I heard that this is to prevent the guy that I hate from entering Bai Ling. Those fellows seem to be from some undead divine race. There were conflicts between the city lord and them, and when they were at the city gate, they were extremely arrogant. It would be the best if they were not allowed to enter. I'm just afraid that the 3 Dao sovereigns will return. If we pursue this matter further, the position of city lord will definitely not be preserved. After Chen Shang heard this, he never thought that such a thing would actually happen. There were actually rankers who became enemies with the undead divine race. Although he had never met Yan Guang before, he immediately felt that Yan Guang was traveling the same path as him. He hastily finished all the food and drinks on the table and then headed to the entrance of the city. Sure enough, he saw 30 to 50 people sitting on chairs he had brought along with him outside the city. Yan Guang sat on the left wall of the huge city gate. He was dressed in white, leisurely drinking tea and humming a song. Chen Shang. Just as he was about to rush over, Yan Guang looked at him and immediately stopped in his tracks. The yellow-robed elder was from the undead divine race, moreover, he came from the same generation as Chen Shang, so he could calculate where Chen Shang was. Chen Shang had changed his appearance, but the other party was still able to see it. When he saw the yellow-robed elder not daring to enter, he understood that the city had very strict rules. If they were not allowed to enter, they would not dare to enter. Yan Guang also looked at the person standing behind him. At this time, he was shocked to realize that this person's appearance was changing. Chen Shang changed back to his original appearance, then looked at the yellow-robed elderly man outside, and laughed. Not bad, you dogs, you guys, are really just like dogs. To be able to follow me here and bark twice, I still haven't heard what a humanoid dog's bark looks like. The yellow-robed elder's face and eyes twitched, he was extremely furious and wanted to slap Chen Shang to death. Oh right, you guys were just killed 3 times, right? One of them belonged to the undead divine race, and the other 2 were from some evil spirit race. They died quite miserably, and their bodies were not complete. Chen Shang laughed. The more furious the other party was, the happier he would be. I will kill you. The yellow-robed old man had a ferocious expression as he angrily shouted. However, he did not dare to enter the city gate. Come on, kill me if you dare. If he didn't come, it would be a puppy. Right, you're an old dog now. It should be said that if you don't come, you're a turtle, little turtle. Chen Shang laughed. Yan Guang was also stunned. He did not even dare to provoke the other party, and Chen Shang, this little kid from the Dao Dan realm, actually did not care about his life. However, he seemed to have guessed something. The death of 3 undead divine races was definitely related to Chen Shang. The 3 elders of the Infinite Divine Mountain were also furious at this moment. The Infinite Master shouted angrily, Chen Shang, quickly hand over the heavenly longevity fruit, or else, if you are caught by us, I guarantee that you will suffer a fate worse than death. You 3 old bastards, if you have the guts, come and capture me. Do you want me to live a life worse than death? I'm right in front of you, but you guys don't dare to come over. Of course, if even this old dog in front of you doesn't dare to come in, then you 3 old bastards will even more so. Chen Shang placed his hands on his waist and laughed out loud. As he said that, Chen Shang took out a heavenly longevity fruit and crushed it while laughing. This made everyone curse in their hearts. Yan Guang also took in a deep breath. This heavenly longevity fruit was extremely expensive, to actually be crushed like this. Seeing this scene, Infinite Master had the urge to vomit blood. Brat, it's more or less enough for you. If you anger them to death in front of the White Spirit City's entrance, then our White Spirit City would be very unlucky. Yan Guang laughed. That's right, I am a kind-hearted person. Who knows, I might have to help them collect their corpses when the time comes. I'll leave it to you. I'm going to take a look around the inner city. Chen Shang laughed. You want to enter the inner city? This may not be good, especially for you right now. Yan Guang said. Chapter 2471. Chen Shang had enemies, and those that entered the inner city had to join the army. If they fought, Chen Shang would be in the army, and the enemy would be easy to deal with. It's fine, I've asked around. If Alchemist were to go in, we can avoid fighting and get the best protection, right? Chen Shang said. You are still Alchemist. Yan Guang laughed. I really can't tell. Alchemist should not be like you, who likes to cause trouble. Quote. Hee, next time if there's a chance, let's have a drink together. I'll go to the inner city first. Chen Shang waved at Yan Guang, then turned and walked towards the inner city. When entering the inner city, they did not need to return any jade money, as long as they passed one of their equipment tests, and proved that they were at the 3rd level of Dao Dan realm, they would be able to enter. After passing the test, Chen Shang was now in the 3rd level of the Dao Dan realm. He was able to enter the inner city and even gave him a jade tablet. After entering, Chen Shang found a small booklet that stated the rules to be observed in the inner city. It could be seen that in the inner city, it was much stricter than outside. At least he was safe and did not need to worry about undead divine race and the rest coming in to cause trouble. Seeing the contents of the booklet, Chen Shang understood a lot about the rules of the inner city. I still have a year's time before I enter. I will be joining the army in a year. If I don't want to, I must leave the inner city, and I can't enter the inner city again for 1,000 years. Chen Shang felt that this was pretty good. After a year, he would be able to sit through a lot of things. He only joined the army 3 years ago. Chen Shang kept the booklet and strolled around. There were a lot of people in the inner city, many of them had killing intent written all over their face. One could tell that they were people who had experienced the battles before. Chen Shang had a lot of jade money now, but he had asked around. Even if there were a lot of them, he would still have to join the army. This was a very strict rule. Everyone was an exception, even if their status was very noble. There's still a year left. I should take advantage of this time to train and improve my strength as much as possible. I'll decide whether or not I want to join the army here. I'll decide after a year. Chen Shang found a pretty good inn, where he started cultivating and so on. It was not bad, and the price was very cheap. He and Chu Hongqing were refining Qingyuan Dan at a faster and faster rate. Chu Hongqing would also occasionally eat one and cultivate. With the help of the world god's spring, they were able to grow a large amount of Qingyuan Dan and the herbs they needed. With the help of a large number of Qingyuan Dan, Chen Shang practically broke through stage 1 every 3 months. A year's time passed and he was now stage 7 of the Dao Dan realm, which was even more powerful than before. If it was anyone else, they would definitely not be able to break through as quickly as he did. The fastest would be several years, and some might even need up to 100 years. The reason he was so fast was also because he had a large number of Qingyuan Dan. Even if it was a very wealthy person, if they didn't have a suitable pill to eat, it would be useless. Chen Shang walked out of the tavern and headed towards a tall building. Previously, his jade tablet had vibrated a few times, reminding him to report the fact that he had joined the army. When he arrived at the tall building, he saw that there were a few people waiting there as well. They were here to register. A year of time passed by extremely quickly for Chen Shang, especially when he was in closed-door cultivation. A year has passed, I wonder how those fellows from undead divine race are doing. Chen Shang recalled the group of people who spoke at the city gate a year ago, and it seemed to have happened only yesterday. You shouldn't have to worry about anything inside, those guys don't even dare to come in. Chu Hongqing said. Her cultivation had also increased by a lot. She was already at the 10th stage of the Dao Dan realm, and had been preparing to charge into the Dao Po realm, thanks to the Qingyuan Dan. At this time, a middle-aged man dressed in white walked out. It was City Lord Yan Guang. When he saw Chen Shang, he was stunned, then laughed. I had thought that you had already left the inner city, I didn't expect that you had always been here. I'm not a coward. Chen Shang laughed. City Lord, you sure are nosy, taking responsibility for this kind of thing. Yan Guang laughed bitterly. My position in the City Lord has already been taken, so I can only do this kind of thing. Those guys are in the outer city right now. They didn't come in. Yan Guang began to help the others register. Why didn't they come in? Chen Shang asked. Most of them are deserters here, they have all joined the army back then, but they ran away before the time even passed, so if they wanted to enter the inner city, they would have to wait for more than 10,000 years. As for the others who have never entered the inner city before, because of their current cultivation level is very high, once they enter the inner city, they will have to immediately join the army. Chen Shang did not know about these things. When he first came in, the booklet had only mentioned the rules related to his cultivation. Senior, I am an alchemist, and am able to refine intermediate king-grade pellets. Do I need to go onto the battlefield? Chen Shang asked. If you can really refine it, there's no need for that. If you perform well, you will be rewarded. Yan Guang said, I'll help you register now, when the time comes, you can go take the examination. If you pass, it will naturally be easier. Chen Shang nodded, and accepted the jade tablet that Yan Guang handed to him. At this time, Yan Guang had nothing else to do, so he brought him to undergo the alchemy exam. Old Lu, someone came to take the test, are you still sleeping? Yan Guang brought Chen Shang to a courtyard at the back of the building and shouted as he knocked on the door. Come in, I'm so busy, how can I have time to sleep? An old man's voice came from inside. Yan Guang pushed the door open and entered with Chen Shang. After entering, Chen Shang immediately smelt a medicinal fragrance. Someone was concocting pills. Refining Dalmark Dan? Chen Shang asked. In the courtyard, there was an old man concocting pills. That's right, we are in urgent need of a large number of Dalmark Dan. The old man nodded. How do you know? I can smell it. Chen Shang was a little doubtful. Aren't Dalmark Dan eaten by the Dao Ti realm? All the people who entered were at the 3rd level of Dao Dan realm, why do they need Dalmark Dan? Quote. One look and you can tell that you just entered not long ago. If you have children born in the inner city, then there will be no limit. Right now, there are quite a few little kids with Dao Ti realm S who need to quickly cultivate and create Dao marks. The old man said, then we'll need a lot of pills to break through the Dao Dan realm. The war is about to start, and every alchemist has a huge burden on them. Old Lu, this kid said he knows how to refine Qingyuan Dan and wants you to take it. Yan Guang laughed. If he can refine Dalmark Dan, Then we can pass. The inner city is lacking alchemists. This is a medicinal ingredient. You should have a pill furnace. No matter how much he can refine it, I will consider it as you pass. Old Lu said. Chapter 2472. Refining Dao Mark Dan was a piece of cake for Chen Shang, but right now he was safe in the inner city, and now that there was a war going on outside, he did not want to participate in it, so he would perform well. If he performed well, the White Spirit City would protect him even more. Ibdu. Chen Shang took out the heavenly furnace, grabbed the medicinal ingredients and began to refine them. He smiled, "Senior, if I am able to refine them, do I not have to fight outside anymore?" Of course. But, if the White Spirit Cities were to be breached, the alchemists that are hiding inside would have to go up by themselves. Old Lu sighed. Over all these years, there have been a few times when we faced such dangers, and we were almost sent to the battlefield of alchemist. Yan Guang laughed. So, all of you alchemists must work hard and refine even more good pills. Only by doing this will we be able to make our warriors stronger, and we don't have to worry about our White Spirit City being breached. Chen Shang had already started refining. If it wasn't to scare them too much, when he used the bones in his eyes to refine the pills, his speed would have increased even more. Yan Guang also didn't leave. He also wanted to see if Chen Shang could really refine pills, since he still didn't really understand Chen Shang at all. All he knew was that Chen Shang really cared not for his life, to actually dare offend the undead divine race and that evil spirit race, and even scolded them like that at the city gate. When Chen Shang was refining the Dao Mark Dan, he had steadily used 4 of them. Now, he was refining according to this standard, and in less than an hour, he had already finished 1 furnace. All right, Chen Shang suddenly said, which surprised Yan Guang and Old Lu. It recovered so quickly. Old Lu was also a rather powerful alchemist, so he was the most surprised at this moment. Of course he could have such speed, but Chen Shang was only a young man in his eyes. Chen Shang opened the pill furnace and Old Lu anxiously walked over to take a look. Seeing the 4-quality Dao Mark Dan, he immediately praised, "Good boy, your standards are really high, I have truly underestimated you." Chen Shang only laughed humbly, "Senior, you're the awesome one. You're going to refine 10 sets of ingredients at the same time, you're probably planning on refining a lot of pills in one go, right? You also saw through that." Old Lu chuckled, "You can stay now, you can stay with me from now on. We'll focus on refining Dao Mark Dan." Chen Shang nodded. Yan Guang had already confirmed that Chen Shang knew how to refine pills, and that his level was extremely high. He bid farewell to Chen Shang and the others, and left. Chen Shang chatted with Old Lu while concocting pills. Old Lu's full name was Lu Yuchuan and he grew up in the White Spirit City. He was an elder in the White Spirit City's alchemy department. "Senior, is this all our mission today?" Chen Shang looked at the pile of herbs. "No, this is our mission this month, our alchemist also needs some rest." Lu Yuchuan laughed, "If we are fast enough, we will have a lot of time to rest." That small pile of medicinal ingredients had around 500 of them, which was extremely rare for Chen Shang. If he was willing, he could complete it in a day. "Senior, how many alchemists like you are here?" Chen Shang said. He planned to use the 1000 refinements method to refine it later. "There are more than 10 of them, but they are different from me. They have quite a few ghosts following them, so they also have quite a few missions." Lu Yuchuan laughed. "Don't worry, I won't push all these issues to you like they will." Chen Shang had finished refining another batch of pills. This time, he was much faster than last time, shocking Lu Yuchuan yet again. Following that, Chen Shang used the 10,000 refinements method and refined 5 batches of Dao Mark Dan at the same time. Lu Yuchuan was originally more satisfied with his own speed. He could refine 10 batches of at once, which was equivalent to 10 batches of Now that he saw Chen Shang using this method to control 5 pill furnaces at the same time, if his speed was like before, he would definitely be faster than. "Where the hell did you come from? How amazing, could it be the disciples of those legendary Dao sovereigns?" Seeing how fast Chen Zhang's few magic method furnace were progressing, Lu Yuchuan could not help but exclaim. "I came in from the outside. What new 8 wastelands is it?" Chen Shang then told Lu Yuchuan about the new 8 wastelands. He did not know much about it and only knew a little. Knowing that Chen Shang had only hidden here because he had stirred up trouble, Lu Yuchuan laughed. "In fact, many people have provoked powerful people. It wasn't just you who had to enter this place without a choice. Therefore, you don't have to worry about those guys coming for revenge." They wouldn't dare to offend the 3 Dao sovereigns who founded this city. Are those 3 Dao sovereigns very powerful? That sounds really good, Chen Shang asked. He had already heard Yan Guang talk about it before. Of course they're strong, I've only heard of them before, but I have never seen them before. Yan Guang has actually seen them a few times. In short, they are all mysterious people. Lu Yuchuan said. Other than that, the 3 great native banks are very mysterious here. There were cities that were destroyed in the spirit wasteland, but the 3 great native banks inside were not harmed at all. Chen Shang was also relatively familiar with the 3 great native banks. They were arranged by the heavenly Tao in this era to control the various powers of this era. In the next few days, Chen Shang and Lu Yuchuan worked very hard, and all the medicinal ingredients were completed. Brat, you're even more than a dozen times stronger than those other guys. We have more than 20 days to rest. Lu Yuchuan laughed. Yan Guang had come here twice to help Chen Shang create the alchemist's identity jade token. As long as Chen Shang refined pills in the inner city for a full 3 years, he would be able to casually walk around in the inner city without being restricted in the slightest. Of course, he could also continue to stay in the army to refine pills and help them develop. What's our mission next month? Chen Shang asked. For the time being, I don't know. No matter what it is, with our speed, we'll be able to quickly finish it. Lu Yuchuan was very happy at the moment, because with Chen Shang joining them, he became very relaxed. These things were all very easy for Chen Shang. During his rest time, he himself was refining a Qingyuan Dan, but he was still at the Dao Dan realm. Compared to the other rankers in the undead divine race, he was simply too weak. Very quickly, more than 20 days had passed, and Lu Yuchuan had returned with a batch of medicinal ingredients. Brat, we have work to do. Lu Yuchuan shouted. Chen Shang anxiously walked out, looking at the fruit jar that Lu Yuchuan took out. He frowned. What pill is this? I seem to have never seen or even recognized this medicinal herb before. Quote. Don't worry, there will be a pill formula. With your level, you will quickly be able to master it. Lu Yuchuan laughed. Just as Chen Shang took out a fruit, Yan Guang ran in and anxiously said, Old Lu, all the alchemists from other cities are looking for you by name, but I don't know why. Chapter 2473. Lu Yuchuan appeared to be very calm as he said, Let's go, let's take a look and see if that bastard is really bored. Yan Guang and Lu Yuchuan followed him towards a palace in the inner city. Although Chen Shang had been in the inner city for more than 20 days, he had never played around here before. This is the White Spirit Palace. These are the residences of the 3 Dao sovereigns. Who exactly is the background of the alchemist? How could they have such treatment and be able to live in the White Spirit Palace? Lu Yuchuan was no longer as calm as before, and was a little flustered. Don't worry, he said. I don't know exactly what's going on. You've been doing pretty well over the years, old Lu. You 3 Dao sovereigns definitely know that. Yan Guang said. Arriving at the spacious hall inside the palace, Chen Shang and Lu Yuchuan sat on chairs. Lu Yuchuan was a little perturbed at the moment, and looked extremely nervous. Not long after, 3 people walked in. One of them was an old man, while the other 2 were young and handsome. They were all well dressed, giving people a sense of respect. The old man had some wrinkles on his face. He wore very old white clothes with a strand of white beard. When he smiled, he looked very benevolent. When someone walked in, Chen Shang and Lu Yuchuan immediately stood up. This should be Elder Lu. Yan Guang often mentions you and he is quite a famous alchemist master in our White Spirit City. A man said. I don't dare. Lu Yuchuan immediately smiled humbly and said. This is the Void City's Zhangqi. I wonder if Elder Lu has heard of him, the man asked. Of course I've heard of it. Lu Yuchuan hurriedly nodded his head. Master Zhang is the #1 alchemist of the Void City. I have admired him for a long time. Chen Shang was a little curious about the identities of the 2 men. Seems like they were not simple, and Yan Guang did not introduce them. Master Lu Chen, the reason why I came to look for you today is to solve a problem. I have just obtained a pill formula and I have the medicinal herbs, but I am unable to forge it. Zhang Qi said. Oh, I heard that there are even more alchemists in the Void City than our White Spirit City. Could it be that even the Void City's alchemist is unable to refine one? Lu Yuchuan said. He was also very interested at the moment. Zhang Qi nodded. We were unable to refine it, so we came over. Lu Yuchuan looked at Yan Guang, and Yan Guang said, Actually, the Void City was also built by 3 Tao sovereigns, and these 2 are the disciples of one of them. They are all in the Void City. The disciple of the Tao sovereign, Lu Yuchuan's heart trembled. He did not realize that such a person was a very respected existence in his eyes. We have a total of 3 cities that belong to the Alliance. Soon, we will have to fight against a few beast races. This pill formula was unintentionally obtained by the 3 Tao sovereigns, and even they are unable to refine it themselves. So I want to see which alchemist can take care of it, a man said. The fact that even the Tao sovereign was unable to refine it made Lu Yuchuan feel a lot of pressure. He felt that he would definitely be unable to refine it as well. Is this pill very powerful? Is it very helpful in battles? Chen Shang, who had been silent all this time, suddenly asked. Yes, this pill is a high-grade king-level pill, called the Shengdao Dan. It is a type of pill that can be advanced. In other words, the lowest grade of the Great Tao pill is a high-grade king-level pill, and if there are medicinal ingredients, then refining an emperor-level pill is not a problem. One of the men nodded, then asked, Brother, are you also an alchemist? I guess so. Elder Lu and I are together. Chen Shang laughed. He was very interested in this kind of pill. The main thing is that the Dao Dan realm eats it, which can allow the Dao Dan realm to quickly step into the Dao Po realm, but there's no effect after the Dao Po realm eats it, so it's sufficient to have a high-grade king-level Shengdao Dan. The man said. Chen Shang was having a headache as he did not know when he would be able to step into the Dao Po realm. He was currently at the 7th level of the Dao Dan realm, and it would be difficult to advance the next 3 stages. If we can successfully refine it, with enough of them, we will have even more Dao Po realm warriors. Lu Yuchuan replied, I will do my best. After that, Zhang Qi told Lu Yuchuan all of the experiences that he gained from refining and gave him the ingredients for the pill. If I can concoct them, the 3 Dao sovereigns will definitely reward me handsomely. The man smiled and said, I'm just waiting for your good news. Lu Yuchuan was under a lot of pressure right now, so he could only nod his head. Because he wanted to refine this kind of Shengdao Dan, he didn't need to do the thing he just received. He asked Yan Guang to return these medicinal herbs. There were only 2 types of Shengdao Dan's medicine. They were not plants, but 2 stones, 1 red, and 1 golden, only the size of a walnut. Chen Shang had planned to copy some of it previously, but the stone could not do so at all. What's this? Chen Shang looked at the stone inside the jade box and asked, Is it a stone? It's a stone, but it is indeed a very special stone. Just like plants and trees, it has a process of sprouting and blooming. Lu Yuchuan laughed, You probably haven't. No, I thought it was a stone. Chen Shang heaved a sigh of relief in his heart, but he was still unsure if this stone could be planted. Elder Lu, are those beast races really that strong? Why do they fight all day? Chen Shang understood that this kind of city would often face wars, and every time they fought, a lot of people would die. Very powerful, those beasts only need to eat some food to become strong, they don't need to train at all, and they are born with a tough body. Very powerful, those beasts only need to eat some food to become strong, so they don't need to cultivate at all. Lu Yuchuan said, I wonder if we can win this time. Chen Shang felt that this spirit wasteland was also in a balanced state. It was obvious that there was some kind of power secretly controlling the development of humans and beasts, otherwise, if one side was too strong, it would be hard to control. Chen Shang took a few pieces of the Shengdao Dan, then returned to his own room. There were a lot of those stones, and Lu Yuchuan didn't mind if he took them to refine. He didn't dare to underestimate Chen Shang, because even when he was refining the Dao Mark Dan, he already felt that he was inferior to Chen Shang. Hongqing Shang Yin, look and see if this can be planted. Chen Shang placed the 2 stones into the Yuyao Mountain Villa. Alright, let's go try it out now. Chu Hongqing said. Chen Shang also began refining the Shengdao Dan, putting the golden and red stones into the pill furnace. When he was in the main hall, he had heard from Zhang Qi about the difficulty in refining the ingredients. The main problem was that the ingredients were very special and strange, very different from the previous herbs. Chapter 2474. Chen Shang understood that refining using a normal method would require a lot of time. I used the Chuangshi God furnace to trigger the creation flames. Even if I had to use all my strength, it would take me about a month to refine the 2 stones. Chen Shang only had to try for 2 hours to roughly deduce the situation, so he immediately stopped. Because the method of directly using fire to refine the pellet was not very practical, Shungao Dan required a large amount of pellets to begin with, so the refining speed had to be fast, which required at least 10 days. Chen Shang would need a month to use the extremely terrifying creation flame, so the other alchemist would definitely need even more time. In order to understand more about this material, Chen Shang used the Dao Heart Eye to look deeper into the stone. After carefully observing for an entire day, he discovered the reason why this stone was hard to refine. The main reason was that there were many tiny particles inside the stone that formed a natural formation that formed a very powerful barrier around the stone. Chen Shang had only discovered this after observing for a long time. I was born with self-defense skills. There are many similar herbs, but they aren't as powerful as this rock. This rock is the equivalent of a small defensive array disc. Chen Shang frowned. Furthermore, it has congealed into a stone state, so it looks like a Dao pill. The power contained within this rock should not be able to support the operation of such a powerful formation, it should have absorbed the power of the natural law principles. Not bad, this kind of stone should possess the special ability of a Dao pill and be able to absorb the heavenly energy of heaven and earth, which is why it can maintain the operation of the natural formation inside. At this time, Chen Shang took a look at the Yuyao Mountain Villa. Chu Hongqing and Yang Xiangyan were carefully taking care of some of the saplings that had just sprouted. Hongqing, are these 2 saplings planted using those stones? Chen Shang asked. Yes, it's really strange. These 2 trees are quite special. I can feel that they are absorbing the heavenly energy from these trees. Chu Hongqing said. Chu Hongqing and Yang Xiangyan were the most clear about the flow of the heavenly energy inside, and Chen Shang could only feel that the heavenly energy inside was flowing. He did not know what it was that was absorbing the heavenly energy, because he had already planted many medicinal herbs. Right now, Chen Shang was sure that this stone was a Dao Dan condensed from plant life, and it was a little special, but after being refined and fused, one could make a person's Dao Dan realm advance by leaps and bounds. It really is a pretty good pill. I must concoct it. Chen Shang thought for a while, then his eyes lit up. He thought of a way to use the crash method. In the past, when he used the crash method, he would only use it to clash with the medicinal liquid after refining the medicinal ingredients. In his eyes, these 2 stones were as hard as medicine crystals. When he was using the 3 crash, the medicine crystal was much stronger than this, so he felt that this method could work. Chen Shang did not try it immediately. He went out to the courtyard and saw Lu Yuchuan shaking his head and sighing. Sigh, this is truly difficult. Even Dao sovereigns are unable to refine it. How could I possibly refine it? Seeing Chen Shang coming out, Lu Yuchuan sighed. What kind of reaction would there be if I were to shatter these 2 stones inside the pill furnace? Chen Shang asked. These 2 stones are very difficult to refine, maybe it will be easier to destroy them. If it were to shatter, the stone would lose its special power and it would be useless. Lu Yuchuan shook his head. This will not work. You tried? Chen Shang asked again. I tried. Lu Yuchuan nodded his head. Furthermore, it's not easy to break. I also used a lot of power to break it, and after shattering it, I'll be similar to a normal rock. Those Dao sovereigns must have also tried this method before. When it breaks, would there be an explosion? Chen Shang was more worried about this, so he came out to ask. He was worried that it would cause too much of a commotion. I don't know about that, but these stones are quite strange too. After breaking them into pieces, there isn't much energy that can explode out. Instead, they are very quiet and become useless. Lu Yuchuan said, I'll think of another way. Chen Shang returned to his room and took out his Chuangshi God furnace. He was prepared to use the crash method to refine this Shungao Dan from the very beginning. After asking Lu Yuchuan if it would produce any strong powers, he was relieved and went to try it. The red and gold-colored stones inside the pill furnace were also wrapped in a wave of Daoyuan immortal power. He would need to release 2 more sets of meteor immortal power later and attach them to the 2 stones, allowing the 2 stones to fiercely collide with each other under the force of the extremely strong meteor immortal power. Begin. With just a thought from Chen Shang, the meteor immortal power immediately gushed out. In order to be successful, he used a lot of Daoyuan immortal power and he was also very strong. The 2 stones fiercely clashed together, causing the Chuangshi God furnace to sway slightly. In the instant of impact, golden and red light exploded out. Chen Shang also anxiously used the creation flames to temper the energy that erupted. What Chen Shang found inconceivable was that such a violent collision actually did not produce any strong fluctuations. This was completely different from the medicinal ingredients that he had refined in the past. After the collision, the interior of the pill furnace was covered with a large number of golden and red granules. They were radiating light and rotated in a spiral shape. One gold and one red, they were both extremely beautiful. When Chen Shang used the creation flame to refine it, those pitiful little things slowly turned into liquid and turned into medicinal liquid. Soon enough, he condensed a gold-red medicinal liquid ball inside the pill furnace. At this point, he had pretty much succeeded. Chen Shang was secretly happy, because he took down a type of pill that no one else could refine. After that, it was a piece of cake. He divided the pellet into 5 parts and started to condense the pellet. However, it was not easy to condense the pellet. It took him 6 hours to successfully condense 5 golden red pellets. This is the Shengdao Dan. I wonder if it has the same effects as the Shengdao Dan. Who exactly created this pill's formula? The guy who created it can definitely refine it. Chen Shang could not help but start to ponder. He was curious about the method the creator used to refine the pill, and whether he was like him or not. Chen Shang walked out of the room happily, but he did not see Lu Yuchuan. It was already dusk, and he did not know where Lu Yuchuan had gone to, so he could only look for him. Chen Shang, where are you going? Just as Chen Shang walked out of the courtyard, he saw Yan Guang and Lu Yuchuan walking over. I was just going to look for you. Chen Shang laughed. Elder Lu, where did you go? There's a alchemist refining Shengdao Dan. Lu Yuchuan said. His face did not look good, but Chen Shang found it strange. This should be a good thing. Chapter 2475. Chen Shang had also just refined a Shengdao Dan, and this pill was indeed very difficult to refine. Now that there was someone else that could refine it, he was very curious to know what method that person used. But when he saw Lu Yuchuan's unsightly expression, it was definitely because of this matter. Elder Lu, why are you so unhappy? Isn't it good for someone to refine a Shengdao Dan? Chen Shang asked. Not good at all, Lu Yuchuan said with a face filled with anger. He looked as though he had suffered a great grievance. Chen Shang looked at Yan Guang, who sighed and said, let's go in, then talk. Chen Shang entered the hall with them and poured Lu Yuchuan a cup of tea. Elder Lu, calm down, don't take that kind of thing to heart, it's not good for your mood. This guy is too much of a bastard. Elder Lu cursed out, then took a sip of tea. Chen Shang could only watch from the side. Yan Guang saw Chen Zhang's puzzled look, and sighed. Someone had called over alchemist like Elder Lu after refining the Shengdao Dan, and that guy had also refined a furnace for us to see. This was originally a good thing, it's just that the person who refined the Shengdao Dan was a very proud and arrogant guy. Quote. At this time, Elder Lu took over and angrily said, this guy actually wants us to take him as our master, only then is he willing to teach us the method of refining the pill. Moreover, he said that if we can't refine this kind of pill, even if it's useless, we should go to the battlefield. Furthermore, he even asked the 3 Dao sovereigns to bestow upon him the title of Grand Master. When we meet him, he wants us to respectfully address him as teacher. This bastard, the most important thing is that he is pressuring the 3 Dao sovereigns. Only when we acknowledge him as our master will he be willing to teach us the method to refine Shengdao Dan. Quote. After Chen Shang heard these words, he frowned. This person was truly too arrogant. He did not teach him, but instead wanted to say something like that. It was as though refining a Shengdao Dan would make him invincible. The 3 Dao sovereigns are definitely not fools. He definitely won't force you into a corner, right? Chen Shang said. He will not do it now, but it will be hard to say in the future, because he is in urgent need of Shengdao Dan's and he is the only one who knows how to refine them, so he will definitely not be able to refine them himself. Furthermore, he is unwilling to pass down the techniques to others. Lu Yuchuan said. Is this guy really that arrogant? Chen Shang laughed. Let me teach him a lesson, he's still in the city. Yan Guang was a little surprised. Don't do anything rash. Right now, one of the Dao sovereigns is inside the city, he is mainly in charge of protecting him. I'm worried that he might be killed by the beasts. Chen Shang laughed. I'm not going to beat him up, I'm just going to frustrate his spirit, and use a more gentle method to compete with him in pill refining. There shouldn't be any problems, right? The other pills he concocts are terrible, but he knows how to concoct Shengdao Dan. The Dao sovereigns will definitely treat him as a treasure. Lu Yuchuan shook his head. So it's better if I don't. If I force him to become our disciple, then I will have no choice but to leave the spirit wasteland and go somewhere else. Chen Shang was clear about the pride of an old alchemist like Lu Yuchuan. In a matter like this, even if he were to die, he would absolutely not compromise. How powerful is he at refining Shengdao Dan? I can coincidentally refine it too. Since he can refine it, then I just happen to have an opponent to compete with. Chen Shang said. What, you really can refine a Shengdao Dan? Lu Yuchuan asked quickly. Chen Shang took out a Shengdao Dan, threw it to Lu Yuchuan, and smiled. Elder Lu, didn't you guys see him refining Shengdao Dan before? You should be sure if this is a Shengdao Dan or not, right? At the same time, the anger in his heart became a lot more peaceful, because right now, it was not only the person that he hated that could refine Shengdao Dan, Chen Shang could also refine Shengdao Dan as well. Yes, this is the Shengdao Dan. Lu Yuchuan hurriedly nodded. Yan Guang, come take a look. Yan Guang had long been by Lu Yuchuan's side. When he saw that it was the Shengdao Dan, he was pleasantly surprised, and said, this pill looks much better than the one that guy made. That bastard can refine 2 pellets. Brat, how many pellets can you make in one furnace? Lu Yuchuan asked. You will know soon enough. Let's go find him now. Chen Shang smiled mysteriously. Lu Yuchuan and Yan Guang had just returned and they immediately brought Chen Shang to the White Spirit Palace. On the way, Chen Shang had already gathered some information that the bastard alchemist Lu Yuchuan was talking about was actually a young man named Tanglang who came from a different city. When Chen Shang and the others arrived at the Great Hall of the White Spirit Palace, Yan Guang was in charge of spreading the news. Lu Yuchuan even called quite a few alchemists over, including Master Zhang Qi. They were all as angry as Lu Yuchuan at this moment. Lu Yuchuan summoned so many alchemists in order to make Tanglang lose face. Let's see how he can still be proud. Very quickly, Tanglang came out. Although he was handsome, he had a very arrogant look, and when he came, he looked at the alchemist with disdain, as if looking down on everyone else, making them hate him. After Tanglang came, just as he was about to say something sarcastic, a black-clothed man suddenly appeared, as if he had used spatial energy to teleport over. This caused Chen Shang to be extremely shocked, and he could tell with a glance that this black-clothed man had extremely strong spatial control. The man in black was wearing a black veil, and only half of his face could be seen. The man in black was wearing a black cloth, and only half of his face could be seen. Tanglang, hold back. The voice of the black-clothed man made Tanglang snort softly. Clearly, this black-robed man was one of the 3 Dao sovereigns. Who refined the Shengdao Dan to compete with me? Tanglang used a gaze that was filled with arrogance, looking at everyone. It's me, Chen Shang immediately said, with a faint smile on his face. He looked extremely humble and amiable. Oh, that's really out of my expectations. Are you sure you can do it? Tanglang sneered. If you can do it, why can't I? Chen Shang laughed, with a brilliant smile on his face. Tanglang felt extremely uncomfortable. The woman in black also asked, can you really do it? Her voice was extremely gentle, causing Chen Zhang's heart to feel at ease. Of course, Chen Shang laughed. Why don't I exchange pointers with this Grand Master Tang, and forge anything with him? Then are you willing to share the art of alchemy? I'll definitely get a lot of rewards. She actually believed in Chen Shang just like that. Chapter 2476. Of course, Chen Shang nodded his head. It's just that I can't guarantee that everyone will be able to succeed in using my technique. All seniors should be clear about this. There are some other people's techniques that are not suitable for themselves. No matter how much they are learned, I can't guarantee that I will give it to everyone and will do my best to let everyone learn it. Seeing that Chen Zhang's attitude was so good, and even addressed everyone as senior, all the old alchemists present secretly praised Chen Shang. It was countless times better than that Tanglang. Tanglang was obviously slapping his face. Although it wasn't really slapping him, it made him very angry, and his face was also burning hot. Humph, words are empty. Anyone would say that you have to refine them. Moreover, you need to refine them very quickly. Don't waste just a few days to refine a single furnace. Moreover, the quality is the worst kind. Tanglang laughed coldly. I only took 6 hours to refine it. What about you, are you capable of it? 6 hours. That should be fine. How about we compete now? Chen Shang smiled faintly. Let's compete then. Tanglang snorted, and took out his own pill furnace and Chen Shang his own heavenly furnace. The lady in black was also very interested in watching the competition. She knew very well about Shungdao Dan's, even she was unable to refine them, but the two young men in front of her could. Of course, she had the best impression of Chen Shang, especially that calm and approachable smile of Chen Shang, which formed a very clear contrast with Tanglang. There are no problems with your pill furnaces, you can start now. The black-clothed woman said. The medicinal materials were provided by her. Everyone had two stone-like items. Chen Shang and Tanglang had started refining at the same time, and while he was refining, he had also used the Dao Hard Eye to check out the other party's pill furnace. He wanted to see what method Tanglang had used, and whether it was the same as his. The method Tanglang used was different from his, but the principles were the same. Initially, Tanglang used a very unique type of Daoyuan immortal power. He guessed what method Tanglang used to control the transformation of the Daoyuan immortal power into a type of Daoyuan immortal power with impact, and inserted into the interior of the stone. After entering the interior of the stone, it would gather to a certain degree and break the stone to pieces. However, it wouldn't harm the energy within the stone. This way, the pill would be able to form a core. However, the crash method that Chen Shang used was simple and crude, and it could be completed in an instant. At this moment, he was also secretly pondering how to turn it into a method specifically used to refine Shungdao Dan, without causing his heavenly alchemy to leak out. Of course, refining the Shungdao Dan with the crash method was still relatively easy to understand, and it was not as troublesome as clashing for the sake of improving quality. Therefore, he felt that it was not difficult for the alchemist to learn it, because Chu Hongqing had already successfully clashed it out with the Yuyao Mountain Villa, and was already starting to condense the pellet. Because it was his first time refining it before, it took Chen Shang a long time to do it on his first try, and it was always the same on his first try. But now it was his second time. He was extremely familiar with and adapted to every aspect, so he felt that he could complete it within 6 hours. Chen Shang very quickly completed the collision process. He had controlled it very well, adding on to the special characteristics of the two stones. The explosion of the energy during the collision was very intense, so the pill furnace was very quiet. After smashing them into pieces, they very quickly turned into medicinal liquid. Following that, Chen Shang entered the process of condensing a pill. Because of the special nature of the material, when refining Shungdao Dan, Chen Shang felt that condensing a pill was the most difficult stage. Chen Shang realized that Tanglang was the same, because Tanglang had entered the congealing core realm earlier than him, but the progress was slow, and there was still a long period of time before the end of the 6 hours. Very quickly, 6 hours had passed, and Chen Shang was the first one to complete it. I'm done. Chen Shang wiped the perspiration off his face and laughed. I'm almost there too, don't be too pleased with yourself. I can refine 2 pellets in a single furnace. Furthermore, I had already made a furnace before. That's why I'm a bit slower now. Tanglang said. Chen Shang smiled lightly and opened the lid of the pill furnace. He took out 5 golden red pills that were glowing with a golden light, looking just like pearls. It was extremely beautiful. Everyone present were stunned. They knew that Chen Shang was able to refine Shungdao Dan, but they never expected him to be so powerful to be able to refine 5 of such high-quality pellets in one go. The black-clothed female's pair of beautiful and gentle eyes were even more fluid and filled with amazement. I have 5 pills. Chen Shang opened his palm and laughed. Tanglang also stared with wide eyes, his face full of disbelief. If he did not personally see it, he definitely would not have believed this to be true, because he was extremely confident in his pill techniques and thought that only his method could solve the problem of refining Shungdao Dan. Tanglang's face was flushed red. He had already completed it, but he did not open the lid. He knew that he had lost completely and without a shred of face. Chen Shang gave these 5 Shungdao Dans to the girl in black, and laughed. How is it? Is this a Shungdao Dan? The furnace I refined earlier also had 5, but I have never eaten them before. Yes. The woman in black nodded and spoke softly. Chen Shang took out 1 pellet from inside and threw it to Tanglang, saying, take it, this is for you, your alchemy skills are also very good. If you weren't so arrogant, I think you could have made it even better. You felt that you could only refine yourself when concocting the pellet, and no matter how you refine it, no one would ever say that you were bad, which was why the quality of the pellets you refined is so poor. I feel that you still have a lot of room to improve yourself, refining 3 or 4 of the good quality Shungdao Dan. Tanglang received the pellet of Shungdao Dan, and then heavily said, many thanks. With that, he quickly left. He did not have the face to stay, but in his heart, he was truly grateful to Chen Shang, allowing him to understand many things just now. What's your name? I know most of the alchemists in the 3 cities, but I have never seen you before. The woman in black said. Chen Shang, I just came. Chen Shang looked at Lu Yunchuan. I'm with Lu Lao now. Can you teach everyone the pill techniques you used to refine Shengdao Dan now? The woman in black asked again. Her voice was soft and sweet, making people feel comfortable listening to it. Of course. Chen Shang then started to explain the refining process in detail. In order to let everyone see this more clearly, he even used the magic method furnace to cover up the whole process. The alchemists here were all very outstanding, and after that, everyone started refining in the hall. If there were any problems, Chen Shang would instruct them on the spot, like a master instructing his disciple, but he was extremely respectful to these seniors. Chapter 2477. Most of the alchemists were able to succeed in learning the pill techniques that Chen Shang had taught them. It was just that they were unable to learn how to refine pills within 6 hours, so they could at least refine pills. They knew that once they familiarized themselves with the pill techniques, they would be able to increase the quality and quantity of the pills within a shorter period of time. Senior, why don't you try? I can see that you're also an alchemist. Chen Shang stood beside the black-clothed female and said while laughing. How can you tell? Do I look like an alchemist? The lady in black laughed lightly and asked. She felt that Chen Shang was very interesting, moreover, very mysterious. This is my intuition. My intuition is always very accurate. Chen Shang laughed. Even though you specialize in spatial energy, I can tell that you are proficient in the way of pills. When I was explaining, you listened very carefully, and when I was teaching pill refining, you also listened very carefully. If I wasn't an alchemist, you wouldn't be that interested. Good eye. The girl in black smiled and said, you have already fulfilled your promise and passed down your pill techniques to everyone. Now, I will also reward you. Follow me. The black-clothed female was one of the 3 Dao sovereigns. The heavy pay that she mentioned must definitely be very heavy. Although the old alchemists were envious, they were not jealous, because they knew that Chen Shang should have it. Chen Shang followed behind the black-clothed female into the depths of the White Spirit Palace. At this moment, he was in a passage which led to the ground. Senior, what's your name? You might be a Dao sovereign, but you should have a name, right? Chen Shang asked. Yes. The black-clothed woman smiled sweetly and said. He can't be called the black-robed Dao sovereign, can he? Chen Shang thought. He was truly unable to guess. Your alchemy skills are so high, but you still can't guess. The girl in black took off her veil, revealing her beautiful face, causing Chen Shang to exclaim in his heart. Another beauty. Chen Shang thought. He had seen many beauties, so he would not be captivated by them. His level of willpower was cultivated by many beauties. Bai Ling, Chen Shang said. My full name is Sha Bailing. She smiled lightly and stuck out her tongue. Do you think I'm not pretty enough? Why do you only have this kind of reaction when you see me? Chen Shang laughed. Don't tell me you want me to act like I want to eat you. Sister Bai Ling, you are really beautiful, it's just that I have a strong resistance towards beautiful women. Hee hee, you can't be not interested in women, right? Sha Bailing's voice was always so gentle and pleasant to hear. Now that she was joking with Chen Shang, with a hint of mischievousness in her tone, it was even more special. Don't spout nonsense. My interest in women has never waned. It's just that I've had around 8 beauties like you before. Hee hee. Chen Shang smirked. This is also why I am so resistant to beauties. I really can't tell that you're a bad person. Sha Bailing laughed and said, what do you want now? If I have something, I'll give it to you. Then why did you bring me here? Chen Shang had already followed Sha Bailing into a secret room. He thought that they would come to a treasury, allowing him to choose some sort of treasure. Of course it's to teach me alchemy. What do you think I brought you here for? Take off your clothes and roll around in bed with you. Sha Bailing laughed. You're not a good person either. Chen Shang laughed dryly. Although Sha Bailing looked delicate and pretty, her gentle voice made people feel that she was naive and innocent. They never thought that she could make such a joke out of them. Why aren't you studying outside? Isn't this wasting my time? Chen Shang curled his lips. I'm worried that if I make a mistake while studying outside, it will be very embarrassing. I'm a girl, and my skin is very thin. I can't afford to embarrass myself like that. Sha Bailing pouted. Your skin is almost as thick as mine. You really can't see where it has thinned out. Chen Shang said snappily, all right, then from now on, ask me again if you have anything you don't understand. Got it, good teacher. Sha Bailing giggled and took out a pill furnace. Chen Shang was completely speechless. No matter what, this Sha Bailing was still a Dao sovereign, but now, he looked like a mischievous little girl. He could not help but ask, "You really are a Dao sovereign?" "Of course, don't you think so?" Sha Bailing asked while blinking his eyes. "What do they look like?" Chen Shang asked in reply, "You are obviously called Bai Ling, and you are even dressed in black. It's very strange. HMPH, you're underestimating me, aren't you? However, if you see any other Dao sovereigns, you'll know that I'm much better than them." Sha Bailing scoffed. "No matter how weak they are, they should be more like Dao sovereigns than you." Chen Shang curled his lips. "Don't tell me that just because she's a girl, she thinks that she doesn't look like a Dao sovereign," Sha Bailing said with a blushing face. Chen Shang didn't know how brave he was, but he actually extended his hand and pinched her face, and pinching a girl's face was something he had gotten used to over the years. Especially when he was face to face with such a cute face, he couldn't help but want to pinch her. Sha Bailing did not expect Chen Shang to touch her face, and this caused her to be at a loss of what to do for a moment. After being stunned for a moment, her face was filled with anger as she coldly shouted, "You actually touched me, you're dead for sure." Sha Bailing was very angry and immediately rushed over to beat Chen Shang up, scaring Chen Shang to the point that his face turned pale. Sha Bailing was a Dao Lord, he was definitely strong, he was worried that the eccentric Dao Lord would beat him to death. However, Sha Bailing merely pounded his chest lightly, and then laughed coquettishly, "You must be scared to death, hee it's funny how you look scared out of your wits." Quote. The muscles on Chen Zhang's face started to twitch, he almost wanted to pinch her butt, or just pinch her chest like he did with his own woman. Of course, he wouldn't do that, it was an extremely suicidal action. "Go refine pills," Chen Shang snorted. This Sha Bailing, no matter how you looked at him, looked like a child, how could he have the appearance of a legendary revered Dao Lord? Sha Bailing stuck his tongue out at Chen Shang, and even made a face at him, then laughed, "I think you're still the best, much better than that Tanglang. I had wanted to give Tanglang a good beating, or scare him, or make him cry for his parents, it's just that he knows how to refine Shengdao Dan, I don't dare to do that. HMPH, I also know how to refine Shengdao Dan. If you had known earlier, you would have hated me that much." Chen Shang rolled his eyes at her. He was quite frightened just now and almost cried for his mother. "I was wrong," Sha Bailing said in a soft and tender voice. "I've forgiven you, hurry up and refine the pills, after I teach you, I still have to cultivate, I am only at the Dao Dan realm now." Chen Shang urged. Chapter 2478. Sha Bailing also knew that Chen Zhang's cultivation was low, she nodded, showing that she understood. After she threw the ingredients into the pill furnace, she took out 2 small red beads and placed them under the furnace. "Is that a fire pearl? You don't know how to use flames." When Chen Shang had used the Dao Heart Eye to look at them, he could see that the 2 pearls contained an extremely strong power of fire. "I'm not proficient in fire, I'm mainly trained in spatial energy, but this does not affect me from becoming an alchemist. I have been relying on this pearl for my alchemy for all these years." Sha Bailing said as she laughed daintily and tossed a fire pearl over to Chen Shang. "I used space to compress this pearl and look for some good flames to compress and seal within it." "So you're saying you train in the space laws and that you're really focused?" "I'm really ashamed of myself." Chen Shang praised. He was cultivating both space and flames at the same time. "Oh, don't tell me you are training in multiple types of law energies at the same time?" Sha Bailing asked curiously, as she had already started to use the crash method to refine the pill. When Chen Shang had guided those old alchemists in refining, she had pointed out various places that needed attention, and they had all been memorized by Sha Bailing. Thus, the moment she had started refining, she had avoided the areas that could easily go wrong. Chen Shang did not immediately reply, at the same time he also indicated for Sha Bailing to focus on concocting pills. "I succeeded." Sha Bailing laughed happily, she had already completed the charge step, as long as she could smoothly pass through this obstacle, the rest would be very easy, she had succeeded by more than half. "You're so amazing that you don't even need my guidance." Chen Shang curled his lips, "You can obviously refine it very smoothly. But I'm worried that I might make a mistake. I'll be embarrassed later." Sha Bailing stuck his tongue out at Chen Shang. "If I made a mistake and only you saw it yourself, I'm not worried that you would say anything." "What, you want to kill me and silence me?" Chen Shang laughed. "Of course not, I have a way to keep you quiet." Sha Bailing pouted, "Seems like you aren't afraid of me." "Of course I'm afraid." You're a Tao sovereign, so I'm afraid you'll die of fear. Chen Shang said. HMPH. Sha Bailing scoffed several times, and asked, not only do you cultivate flame, even so, you are still a very powerful alchemist, and this is pretty good too. I train in spatial energy too, it's just a piece of cake. I don't think you're that amazing. Chen Shang said. Chen Shang had a very good grasp of spatial energy, and this was one of the hardest laws to learn from, otherwise he wouldn't have been able to cultivate such a powerful mark like the white tiger's jump. When he encountered a spirit formation or something like that sealing space, he could easily jump through space using the white tiger. This was a very high level. Nonsense, since you can cultivate the power of the space laws, then you definitely won't be too weak. This space law isn't something that anyone can train in, and if you have the chance to do so, then you certainly aren't weak. Sha Bailing didn't believe a word of Chen Zhang's words, it could be seen how much understanding she had of the laws of space she cultivated. Sister Bai Ling, you must be very good at spatial cultivation. Please teach me. Chen Shang laughed. There's nothing to teach. Everyone trains in different types of space laws. What I can't teach you is because different types of space laws are comprehended by everyone. Sha Bailing said, you should be clear about this yourself. Did you really not get taught anything? Chen Shang was a little disappointed. I think I'm still lacking in this area. Alright, your specialty is pill refining. Sha Bailing laughed. Although I know how to refine pills, I might not be as powerful as you. Furthermore, the spatial energy I cultivate is mainly used for battles, it definitely isn't suitable for you. Chen Shang would never admit in front of Sha Bailing that he used his spatial energy to escape. Of course not, I'm just cultivating by mistake. I'm also here to fight. Chen Shang curled his lips. His spatial energy was indeed frequently used to flee for his life. Sha Bailing laughed and said, you won't admit it no matter what, right? I can tell that a guy like you shouldn't have long to live, but you lived for a very long time. Chen Shang did not speak anymore. He was more or less able to guess what was going on. Sister Bai Ling, I only came here to hide after provoking some powerful people outside. I'm a bit worried that they would barge in right now. Those guys are really scary. Chen Shang said. He felt that these Tao sovereigns must know many things, thus he also wanted to take this opportunity to ask Sha Bailing a few things. Oh, are they the people from the three great native banks? Of course, if the three great native banks came to kill you, you would have already died. Who are they? Is they really that powerful? Sha Bailing asked. Undead divine race. And there's also the red spirit race. Chen Shang said. So it's undead divine race. He's indeed a rather difficult guy to deal with, and red spirit race is quite powerful as well. Sha Bailing frowned slightly. Don't worry, as long as you stay in my city, they won't dare to find trouble with you. Sister Bai Ling, you might not know this, but after the undead divine race and the red spirit race combined, they were able to mutate. Chen Shang said, although the undead divine race won't die, because he won't die, his power has limited the boundaries. But now that the undead divine race and the red spirit race have joined forces, I wonder what kind of secret technique was used. The undead divine race was able to break through that bottleneck, and because of that, the red spirit race has become longevity. They have become even stronger. Sha Bailing's jade face, which originally had a smile on it, became serious at this moment because this kind of thing was not something that Chen Shang could know. At this moment, she was extremely curious about Chen Zhang's identity. Are you speaking the truth? What exactly are your origins? To actually know about this kind of thing, I only know a little about this sort of thing a while ago. Sha Bailing asked. After that, Chen Shang told Sha Bailing about the two generations merging. As a Tao sovereign, Sha Bailing could easily accept and understand this kind of thing. You don't have to worry about that. There will be three great native banks restricting them, and inside the spirit wasteland, there are beasts restricting us humans. Sha Bailing sighed. In short, we passed many years like this. Sha Bailing very quickly finished refining a batch of Shengdao Dan. She only used 4 hours and even refined 3 of the high-quality Shengdao Dan. Alright, I can now refine a Shengdao Dan. What reward do you want? Have you decided? Sha Bailing laughed. Do you have anything good? Take it all out for me to choose from. Chen Shang thought about it and said. Chapter 2479. Chen Shang didn't know what he needed in return. He had a lot of jade money including other heavenly artifacts, and even some weapons. He felt that he wasn't really lacking anything, he was just lacking in strength. No, just say what you want. I'll just give it to you as much as I can. Sha Bailing laughed. If I have it, I will definitely give it to you. If I feel that I can get it for you, I will also get it for you. I didn't think of that at the moment, how about this? Give me a few days to think, I want to tell you. Chen Shang said. Don't call me old man, be careful that I don't hit you. Sha Bailing pretended to be fierce and warned. Fine, you can stay in the White Spirit Palace. I'll give you special privileges, you can enter however you want, and even give you a room. If you have anything you need, you can also send me a message, just come straight to me. Sha Bailing gave Chen Shang a jade token, which he could also pass on to others. Thank you, Sister Bai Ling. Chen Shang smiled and nodded. Good girl. Sha Bailing rubbed Chen Zhang's head and chuckled. All right, I'm going back to work. You should go cultivate first, you're really too weak now, I just refined the Shengdao Dan and it's for you. Aside from that, Sha Bailing also gave Chen Shang quite a few of the Shengdao Dan's medicinal herbs, and told him to refine them in this secret room. After Chen Shang ate a Shengdao Dan, its medicinal power was extremely strong, and almost allowed him to break through to the 8th level of the Dao Dan realm. This was only half a day of time, and after eating another, he very easily broke through to the 8th level of the Dao Dan realm. It's already very fast from the 10th stage, and Dao Po realm will be next. That's still not an issue. At this time, he had a lot of Dao Dan realm to eat, and he would be able to cultivate to the 10th stage very quickly. And inside the Yuyao Mountain Villa, Chu Hongqing had also planted that kind of stone. The two types of stones used to refine Shengdao Dan were both cores that had been obtained from within a type of fruit. As long as he could plant it, Chen Shang could produce a large number of Shengdao Dan. In just 10 short days, Chen Shang had already broken through to the 10th level of the Dao Dan realm. Such a quick time caused Yang Xiangyan to be incomparably shocked. Haha, I will be entering the Dao Po realm soon. You all just wait, there will be a day when I don't have to hide anymore, and I will kill all of you bastards. Chen Shang laughed loudly, then walked out of the secret room. He took out the jade tablet that Sha Bailing had given him and transmitted to Sha Bailing. Sister Bai Ling, where are you? I want to meet you. Sha Bailing immediately responded, I'll go find you right now. Don't move from your spot. Quote. Chen Shang stood where she was and did not move. Before long, Sha Bailing had arrived, but she looked rather relaxed now, so she came as soon as she said it. What's the matter? Sha Bailing asked. You have been cultivating these past few days, right? I'll take you to your place. Quote. Chen Shang laughed as he followed behind her. I haven't seen beautiful Sister Bai Ling for a few days, I miss you a lot. Sha Bailing laughed tenderly. You little pimp, did you think of what you want as compensation? I feel very uncomfortable without giving you your reward in one day. Quote. Not yet, Chen Shang said. I am already at the 10th level of the Dao Dan realm, Shengdao Dan are indeed strong. Of course, this pill formula is not something that I can obtain easily, of course it's amazing. Sha Bailing said, it's just that the pill formula that he gave me is incomplete, which is why I don't know how to refine it. Sha Bailing brought Chen Shang to a very good room. Each room was very spacious. Right, we have to find the beast race for negotiations tomorrow, do you want to join in the fun with me? Sha Bailing asked. Of course, I've never seen the beasts here before. Chen Shang immediately nodded his head. Oh right, Sister Bai Ling, are there beasts as powerful as you? Yes, they are also beasts that belong to the heavenly Dao. They also have Dao sovereigns and stuff like that. Of course they're powerful, and those guys are innately strong as well. Sha Bailing nodded his head. This spirit wasteland is even more so, we have to guard against this group of beasts all day long. If we, humans, are not here, the spirit wasteland will be dominated by beasts. They would leave tomorrow. Sha Bailing and Chen Shang also sat in this house tonight. She didn't know why, but she felt that Chen Shang was very close to her, and that was why she got along so well. It only took a few days for them to get to know each other very well. The next morning, Chen Shang woke up early. He was the one who knocked on Sha Bailing's door to wake him up. Sha Bailing rubbed his sleepy eyes and yawned. Morning. You're a Dao sovereign, so why are you sleeping so soundly? Chen Shang felt that it was extremely strange. Forget about Sha Bailing, even for people like him from the Dao Dan realm, it was very rare for him to wake up like Sha Bailing with his eyes half open. You don't understand. Wait until you become a Dao sovereign, then you'll know that this sleeping method of mine is most useful. Sha Bailing had already become a lot more energetic by now, so he closed the door before going back to wash up. After Chen Shang waited for a while, Sha Bailing opened the door and started humming a cheerful tune while carrying a plate of pastries. Hurry up and eat, you're the only man who has eaten the pastries I made myself. Sha Bailing laughed. You won't die if you eat it, right? Chen Shang looked at those pastries, although they were pretty, he did not know how they tasted like. If you don't eat now, you'll definitely be beaten to death by me. Eat, Sha Bailing laughed and purposely revealed an extremely fierce expression. Chen Shang grabbed a piece of cake and placed it in his mouth. He chewed it a few times and praised, I never thought it would be so delicious. I am ready to puke. Quote. Sha Bailing scoffed, how could you look down on me like that? I'm a Tao sovereign after all, and an alchemist at that. After eating, Chen Shang entered one of Sha Bailing's carriage. Although the carriage looked small, it was extremely spacious in the interior. It was obvious that Sha Bailing had used his spatial energy to expand the carriage, making it a piece of cake for her. Right now, Chen Shang was lying on a couch, whistling very comfortably. This time, we were the three Tao sovereigns. The Void Tao Sovereign and the Azure Sun Holy Man had a conversation with them before, and I didn't ask them how the discussion was going. They only told me to go again, and also asked me to go with them. Bai Ling said. The three cities were called White Spirit City, Void City and Qingyang City, all named after the Tao Lord. Will I be able to meet the other two Tao sovereigns then? Chen Shang asked. Yeah, what's so exciting about seeing them? Sha Bailing laughed tenderly, but you don't have to be disappointed, they don't look like Tao sovereigns anymore. They're all men, right? They definitely look more like Tao sovereigns than you. Chen Shang laughed. We'll see. Sha Bailing made a face at Chen Shang. Chapter 2480. Sha Bailing controlled the horse carriage to travel through space, and before long, they arrived at the negotiation location, which was a wasteland near the Beastman tribe. Chen Shang got off the horse carriage and saw a few people in the wasteland. Beasts had yet to arrive. He looked closely at the men, and he was surprised, for two of them were children, only 5 or 6 years old. These two children were both tender and cute. One of them wore a white robe, while the other wore a green one. Their clothes also looked luxurious, and there were many decorations hanging on their bodies. In addition, the white-clothed child was riding a very small white lion, while the green-clothed child was riding a blue bird. You must have gone silly. These two brats are the Void Holy Man and the Azure Sun Holy Man. Their white robes are the Void, while their azure clothes are the Azure Sun. Sha Bailing laughed proudly, do you think that I have the most appearance of a Tao sovereign now? Chen Shang swallowed his saliva. He could not believe that the Tao sovereign that the three cities respected and revered was actually like this. Bai Ling, you're late again. You clearly have a high mastery of spatial energy, but you're always late. You must have done it on purpose. The Void Holy Man galloped over on his little white lion and shouted with his tender voice. His young and cute little face was very solemn, making him look strange. Little thing, it's not the first time that Big Sister has been late. You should be used to it. Sha Bailing snorted. This is different, we are here to negotiate with the beast race. If we lose too many people, our momentum will weaken. This will be very disadvantageous to our negotiations. The Void Genren's face was filled with seriousness. Chen Shang really wanted to laugh out loud. With these two brats here, their auras were already weak to the point of exploding. Right, the three of us Tao sovereigns should be together. That is the only way to frighten the enemy. Bai Ling, how old are you already? You're still a little immature. How many times have I told you that you have put such an important matter behind you? The Azure Sun Holy Man, mounted on the little cyan bird, flew over and reprimanded them with his soft voice. Chen Shang looked at Sha Bailing and saw Sha Bailing stick his tongue out at him. Then, Sha Bailing laughed, alright, it's fine if you don't come late next time, right? I thought you guys were here on your own, but I didn't expect you guys to bring people here. Didn't you bring someone with you? Who is this kid? It doesn't look that powerful either. The Void Holy Man raised his head to look at Chen Shang and asked. Chen Shang didn't know whether to laugh or cry in his heart. At this moment, he was unsure if the two Tao sovereigns who looked like children were real or not. He's the one who refined the Shengdao Dan. I brought him here to join in on the fun, do you have any objections? If not, I'll send him back right now. Sha Bailing said. It's fine. Since we're already here, the more people there are, the stronger the momentum will be. The Azure Sun Tao Sovereign nodded. Now that Chen Shang saw the three Tao Sovereigns standing together, he felt that they were just 3 exotic flowers. Of course, he didn't have the feeling that the 2 children were weak. They were definitely powerful, otherwise they wouldn't have been able to become Dao sovereigns. Last time we talked to them, that group of wild beasts were more aggressive. They like to negotiate using combat methods, so this time we brought 3 fighters to talk to them. The Void Holy Man said. Sha Bailing took a look at the 3 people they had brought with them. All of them were only of the Dao Dan realm, and were also of the 10th stage. Let's fight with the Dao Dan realm S. Sha Bailing frowned. This is what they requested. They said that they will also send out Dao Dan realm beasts. They are also here to see the difference between us humans and their younger generation. The Azure Sun Holy Man said. What if we lose? Sha Bailing asked. A loss means a failure in the negotiations. They won't be negotiating with the losers. When the time comes, we can only go back home and prepare for an all-out war. The Void Holy Man said, if we win, we can fight for 2 years. Sha Bailing said, if we can get 2 years, then we can make even more adequate preparations, especially now that we have Sheng Dao Dan. Both Kong and Qingyang nodded. This was also done to reduce the number of casualties. Not long after, Chen Shang felt a strong qi approaching. Compared to them, the beasts seemed to be much stronger, and the beasts around them were much weaker. There were hundreds of them, and both Shu Kong and Qingyang were looking at them with displeasure. Don't worry, we are still very strong, Void said to the person behind him. The other side's beasts had already taken human form. Moreover, they were riding a huge beast. As they rushed forward, those huge beasts were still roaring non-stop. It was very scary. Chen Shang was shocked even when he saw this. Now he understood why Qingyang and the others wanted to negotiate and strive for more time. It was because the other party was not weak. Haha, are you really just these few people? Are you afraid that you won't be able to bring it back if you bring it back? His voice was like thunder, and the huge tiger he was sitting on was like a small mountain. In terms of aura, it was absolutely able to suppress them. Sha Bailing seemed to be accustomed to this kind of thing, but she did not feel that it was anything strange. Instead, it was Shu Kong and Qingyang who had faces full of unhappiness. As long as I can beat you guys, quickly send your people over. You promised that as long as you can defeat your juniors, you will agree to our conditions, right? Void said. Chen Shang felt a little speechless. A child like Shu Kong, and he was even riding on a very cute little white lion. Li Bao, go and exchange pointers with them, don't kill them. If you're going to make them suffer forever, let's let them live under your fear, this will be much more interesting than killing them. The leader laughed. Following which, a tall man suddenly appeared. He wasn't that type of tall and sturdy, with a leopard tattoo on his face. It should be a leopard. Which one of you is coming? Li Bao looked at Chen Shang, then looked at the 3 men behind him. Li Bao's strength was still quite strong, and he was able to tell it with a single glance. Especially with regards to restraining his strength, it made him secretly praise it in his heart. Tian Rui, go meet him. Don't kill them. We are human beings, not as bloodthirsty as their beasts. Void said. Tian Rui was a man who looked calm and steady. With his sharp eyes, Chen Shang felt goosebumps just by looking at him. With one look, he could tell that he was a fierce person. Chen Shang was only watching from the side. This allowed him to clearly understand the level of the experts in the spirit wasteland. Tian Rui, be careful, Qingyang urged.